there for support, just holding her hand. And while I was working, a friend, she kept getting closer. Well, I was tattooing. I was like, yeah, back the fuck up. And then she just went face first into the tattoo, and she passed out. Not the girl getting the tattoo, but her friend just, and then just collapsed on the floor.
Oh wow! Did you tattoo her pussy while she passed out? Sam, unbelievable way to start the show, man. For a first time, one of the all-time greats. Congratulations. Sam Atkins, everybody. He's on Instagram. Sam.the.tattoo.man. Very interesting Instagram handle. Hey. Okay, let's keep it moving along. One word, spelled Australian. Jared. J-A-R-R-Y-D. Jared. The lion sleeps tonight. Hey. In the jungle, the mighty jungle. The lion sleeps tonight. Jared, everybody.
Holy shit. So I've been living with my roommate for about 3 years. Leaves everything West Coast movies and burgers and shit. You'll do. What's wrong with the downright most disgusting thing I've never seen him do? Sorry, a sandwich on the toilet. Fucking disgusting. But my god, that's a lot. Thank you.
Fuck yeah, 35 cents. Hey, I didn't understand a word you said. You didn't talk into the microphone. I was trying to signal to you almost the entire time. You really let the fear dive on that one. I don't know what's happening. Very soft. Do we have to feed you eucalyptus leaves for you to get more energy? What's going on?
When the mic was
It's a very interesting method. You almost didn't give yourself a stand up. Last time doing a retirement party for you, Jared. Like right up to your mouth during this part. No, it's okay. You signed up for this. You think it was going to happen. Yeah, absolutely. You got the adrenaline running through you right now. You got one finger in. What was that move, dude? I'm nervous as fuck. The old finger in your pocket. And then, and so we call that the old one thing in the pocket, the didgeridoo.
in the animal kingdom. This is referred to as a pagan.
Heck yeah. What part of town are you from?
From Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv?
Tel Aviv.
You look like you could be from Tel Aviv. I like that. Tenerife?
Yeah.
That's
But just that's a valley.
Was there an airport there? Oh, that's a different. Hell yeah. So you into, man? What do you do for fun when you're not doing administrative?
Yeah, you ever tattooed a kid's dick before? Not yet. You're not as young. Very strange response.
If you don't ever answer the keep on of you. So what do you do when you're not doing administrative work?
Skateboard. I'm trying to learn how to surf.
I bet. Oh yeah. So you skateboard though. You good at it? Is there anything you're good at? Not sure. I mean, it's your first time in, you suck, but skateboarding, you're not good at any of these things. They're the first two things you name. You good at making love?
That's my lovely girlfriend.
That's your girlfriend? Is he good at making love? Wow, a 6 or 7 out of 10 is what she just screamed throughout the audience.
And this in the animal kingdom is what we refer to as a cunt.
Wow. Let me ask you this, since this is the most interesting thing about Jared. What do you think? You gave him a 6 or 7, which, let's face it, that's a hard 4. Because you are in public. So what's something, if you could give him a piece of advice right now, what's something in the bedroom that he better or work better at? Just don't overthink it. Just he reckons that. Wow. Okay.
There's only one way to do this. Timmy to have sex with this woman right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Put it in her out back and her out front. You know what I'm saying? Come on, answer my question. What can you do better in the bedroom? What's something you think, this question's just for her. All the funny men with the shaved heads and beards in the audience that think they're hilarious. Go ahead, answer the question, sweetheart. Oh, jeez. Real show business queen. I see you guys must have the same sense of humor. Match made in fucking boredom land.
Judging by this male's confidence, he will go extinct very soon.
My goodness, Jared. You're not good at anything, according to you. I mean, no other hobbies or anything? You ever win trophy for anything? You ever...
I just taught him amazing.
Of course. Wait, what'd you say?
I said I thought he could think right now. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I still haven't figured the mic thing out after.
I like it, man. What do you do for fun? Like, I mean, you ever go out or do anything? You ever take the girl out? Yeah, like what? What do you guys do? You go for drives?
People drive to the beach, go out to Trash Valley.
There you go.
Yeah.
And keep it there the entire time. Stop moving it away. Stop. Look how bad you want to move that microphone away.
I really do.
Keep it right there. I like your shaky hand. Just keep it. Just fucking own it, dude. Own it. That didn't make Michael J. Fox quit, did it? No, you fucking stay right there. You just own it.
So we go for drives, we go out drinking, I take her out on dates.
Yeah, you guys drink. You guys ever go on drives while you're drinking? Because I think that'd be great. I think you guys should get drunk and go up on the coast. You know what I mean? Like, find a ledge, hit the gas. You could be the next Kevin Hart after you just jump right into the game.
To a 6 on this guy's dick.
I love it. We need Sam Atkins to bring his tattoo gun if we ever come back to Brisbane. We can turn that into a whole goddamn thing. Well, Jared, I'll tell you this. You got your first time out of the way. You'll never be this nervous again if you ever do it again. And if you want to do it, you should fucking do it. There's nothing harder than having your first time on a show like this in front of all these amazing comedy fans. Hell yeah. Way to do it, Jared. There you go. One more time for Jared, everybody. The lion sleeps tonight. Hey, hey. In the jungle, the mighty jungle. The audience sleeps during Jared. Alright, I pulled another name out of the bucket. Make some noise for your next comedian. He goes by the name of Conrad Close. Here we go, right from the second row. Conrad Close. One more time for Conrad close?
Hey, so I can clearly remember the very first day that I ever saw my first porno. I was 12 and my best friend bought it around VHS and I was so excited. But what I remember was how relieved I was that all the shame and all the shit I was afraid of sharing with the world was totally normal. And my friend felt it and there were filming movies about it. I was like, oh my god, I don't have to keep it a secret anymore. This is amazing. Just think about the alternative. Imagine if you came into the world and the best thing you ever wanted to do was to rub your elbows on bread or something. And then you kept it a secret because no one else ever does that, right? Then one day your friend comes around and hey, says, you gotta watch this, this is the best thing ever. Puts the tape on, and it's dudes, adults, rubbing their elbows on bread all around the world. Multi-grain bread, brown bread, choking the bread, and you're like, you're turning the bread. You can't hurt the bread kind of seeps into it. So he's like, person, I choke the bread.
Yeah. Absolutely. How exciting is this? Australian Mark Zuckerberg, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God, you beat me to it.
This is frightening. Oh my God, I've never seen someone look like Neil Brennan and Freddy Krueger at the same time. This is mind-boggling.
It's like Louis UK over here.
Louis UK. Wow, I love it, man. You are just a real Australian gentleman. Look at you talking about a porno where the guys
Brandon
on bread. What a twist.
He's definitely the strangest species of bird we've had up here all night.
Wow, you did that when you moved your head like that. It made that. Look at that. You do it again. That's incredible. Wow, I had no idea that Australians could do that with just a little wacky head movement. It's very impressive.
We can all do it.
That's amazing. So, welcome to the show, Conrad. Look at this. Popping cherries like a motherfucker. I like it. So going with your life up until this point. Tell us more about the real Conrad Close.
Sure, this year I was traveling for 6 months. I saw you guys in LA in early September, and that kind of inspired me to do a shot. So I'll be traveling and going back to college next year.
Heck yeah. What are you studying in college?
I'm going to be studying web development.
Brandon.
Absolutely. Which reminds me,
I'm Zuckerberg.
you don't even need web developers anymore. Just go to Wix.com and
You mean Squarespace?
yeah, Squarespace. Sure. Absolutely, man. I forgot. I have 2 different podcasts.
Whoopsie daisies. I was watching a golden orb spider earlier today, and its web development was unbelievable.
Hey, that's actually true. We did. Shout out to Lone
Pine Koala Sanctuary.
That's right, Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary. We held one of the devils. Well, that ruined the smell of eucalyptus for me for life, I'm pretty sure.
It's true, he was terrifying.
It was. I got bad vibes from that koala.
It really did.
It's a very trippy little animal. I don't trust things that move that slow.
To see Tony Hitchcliff feed an animal might be the greatest pleasure of my life.
Thank you, Tibby. Conrad, you ever deal with any of these wild Australian animals out here?
They used to live near my mine, actually, so when there are times, yeah, you see everything. Kangaroos, koalas, possums. Possums are very common.
Yeah, you ever suck off a wallaby or anything like that? You ever do anything crazy?
Not yet.
No. You have a girlfriend?
No.
Sure.
This guy looks like Cockatiel Dundee.
Wow.
Pedophile joke.
Cockatiel
Looks like a pedophile.
Yeah, that is true. Look at that. You really,
I like that version of the joke that has no fat on it, just straight to the facts. This guy's a pedophile. That's what I like.
What's the most Australian thing about you? If you had things other than your face and skin color.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
This guy's clearly not one of us.
Yeah,
Wow. It's incredible.
I can't think of anything.
Wow. Everyone in the room hates you right now. For those of you listening to the podcast, you just got attacked by a magpie. It flew in from up above. Heck yeah. You ever been attacked by a magpie?
Yes.
Yeah. You said you're single. Is that by choice?
Good question. It depends. I guess it depends. I'm not looking right now, but I am open.
You are open. It's like what are you, a Woolworths? Nothing much going on, but we're open. Fuck yeah, man. Last date you went on, how did that go?
Well, I just broke up. We broke up. I was while traveling.
4 months. You said that you just broke up. You said we were so. Why did it? Why'd you end it?
Long as she was in Japan. It's very different.
Oh wow! Where? Jeez. By Japan, you're talking about Sunnybank? What's that mean? It's just fucking killer Australian references, baby. This is my 4th year in Brisbane in a row. Well, explain it for all the people listening. It's just a real Asian part of town. That's where they keep all of their Asians. It's pretty easy to understand.
Brian wants direction.
They have Asians out here? Not here at Eaton's Hill for some reason. Look at these guys in the front. You think they allow Asians anywhere around here? What the fuck are you talking about? Where'd you meet an Asian?
In Japan. She's from Japan.
Okay. Yeah, so you were in Japan and you met her. Were you getting a massage at the time? What we're talking about?
No, we met on Japan. We did 4 months. We tried to do the long distance thing first.
Yeah, and not cost effective either. Did you have a Japanese calling card or something like that, or is it just the inside of a fortune cookie? Just dial the rookie numbers. Oh my god, it's so funny. They said you can't do Asian impressions anymore, and I literally, since I found out about that, have done it on every single. You've doubled down. Yeah, even my girlfriend's pissed off at it. I go, Orin! I love it, man. So, has she ever been to Australia?
She has. She actually studied here for 10 months. So
yeah, that's what those kinds of people do. They just study and study and study. It never stops. What was she studying?
Law.
Oh, you totally get back together with her. Asian girl that's doing law. She's probably going to be rich.
She wanted children. I don't want kids, so that's also a big thing.
She wanted little babies, huh? We didn't want to know what's up with that.
I had a vasectomy.
You had a vasectomy. My God, look at you. What do you think about that? It's Australian male that's had the old pipes.
I do understand it very well. Australian semen is very potent. If you get it anywhere near a woman's vagina, it doesn't go. It just goes straight to the womb, and instantly impregnates a woman. So I totally understand. It's not typical, but I respect it.
Yo.
What's up?
Hey, Brandon, tell me why does that one account, that Michael Jackson account, keep coming back and forth, back and forth, back and forth?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Okay. Is it okay? Just probably easier. Just you can leave out or put it in your streaming one below, in your room. But that way, because every time it comes in here, I like come and I'm wondering if it's somebody I know, and then it's just that account. Is that possible? Put that Michael Jackson one in your room.
The one that says guys,
Jackson one. It says Brandon Cole Alexander. That one put in your room because it keeps coming and coming and leaving, coming and leaving, coming and leaving, coming and leaving, coming and leaving. And whenever it comes in, I think it's one of our friends, and then it's just one of your other accounts. So is that possible?
I'm afraid you're gonna touch them if you have any.
Let me reset my phone and see if this guy, because I want to repair it.
Okay, try that.
I just don't want kids, and I hate to accidentally.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Even up close being careful. So.
I feel like this is the guy that got the tattoo artist's wife pregnant. I feel like secretly,
So now do you just blast away?
yeah, he was fucking firing fucking Australian missiles.
I'm always careful. I'm always.
So you still pull out even the vasectomy.
I feel like you take Plan B out. Well, Conrad, it takes real, even though you've had a vasectomy, it takes real balls to sign up for this show, and you did it here tonight. Conrad, close, everybody. We're going to keep flying through it.
Man, he's got some demons, you can tell.
He's got some demons in his Siemens. You know what I'm saying? This guy. Look at him. He's getting taller as he walks back to his seat. One more time for Conrad, everybody. All right. This is the part you can feel tension in the room. Every time a name gets pulled out here. A lot of first-timers so far. Put your hands together for your next comedian, Nick Ledger. Nick Ledger. There we go. Might be related to Heath, an Australian actor.
I think it's him over there.
Nick Ledger's walking to the stage. Here he is, everybody, live in the flesh. Nick Ledger.
Hey guys. So I'm a locksmith. As a locksmith, you have to find a coping mechanism to deal with shit we do. I like to take the business over like not thieves, mostly because of our prices. But seriously, locksmith can be an frustrating job. We see the occasional dead body. Oh, it's perfect. We see the emotional result of this technique. Like the last major breaking actor, the guy lost pretty much everything he had. He was near TV. As you can guess, he was absolutely devastated. Not me though. I got to go home, watch Netflix for like 375 smart TV. I think breakdance is what it's about. I don't get wrong. When you break it down, it's just a bunch of people standing in a circle, music on in the background, and someone will flop around the center of that circle. And they call it falling up. You think it'd be like interpretation, right? But no, it's a local music festival. That's all I've got. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, Nick Ledger. There you go. You got through it, pal. Is that an Australian thing? The microphone, another hemisphere? I mean, it's right here. It's got to just be right next to your mouth, guys. I don't know what the fuck you got used to down here.
What is it?
Is that really bad?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
We understood some parts. They seem to have gotten the end.
I love this.
Yeah. Speaks Australian. That's
It's the locksmith thing, the breakdance. It's awesome to see you guys in person, man. It's awesome.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm glad you wore your most wrinkled t-shirt for the occasion.
That's a sweet shirt.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. Oh, it's
I
got
always wondered what happened to the host of Blues Clues.
yeah.
I think he got done for coke, like legitimately done. I know, on my way.
Went out with a bang, man. It was safe.
Yeah, good seeing it.
So, Nick, first time doing stand-up?
This is my sixth time.
Sixth time ever. Heck yeah. So you started recently?
I started last year and I just procrastinated shitloads and watched people keep going so I can't cut. It's way too much fun.
Absolutely.
I think I'm just going to cut down the sides of my like lead up to the punchline.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is what happens when you get a woman pregnant when you have a vasectomy.
Yeah, exactly.
You look like Tom Hartley.
Hey, look at that. Wow, that's the one. Look at that. He got it started. Fuck yeah.
By the way, just for the audience's information, Tony has understood 0 words from this
Yeah,
comedian.
absolutely. This fucking Peaky Blinders motherfucker up here. I have no idea what's going on. So, Nick Ledger, what do you do for work?
I'm a locksmith.
You're a locksmith?
Yeah. So like literally illegal criminals. Like, oh, I left my keys out, so you just like find a way to break in.
Yeah, absolutely. I own a dog too. I totally understand what you're saying. So you're a veterinarian, and that's what you love more than anything. Married for 8 years. And, no, I love it. Locksmith, definitely. So, any crazy situation, get all rumors like that after they peed on the door in Ireland?
That's a key part.
No, he was in his underwear. He wasn't naked.
No, you get like morbid shit, like after like domestic abuse and shit. So it's like that. But then you see like dead bodies, which is pretty fucking crazy too.
Yeah, where'd you see a dead body at?
Like just the police, we have to gain entry that don't know someone's alive. So you just looks like a 50-50 when you go to the job. It's like, oh, it could just knock me out.
Yeah, I'm Italian. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Heck yeah. Wow. So what do you like to do for fun when you're not cracking locks?
I've been doing bouldering. Bouldering is pretty sick. So like rock climbing.
Bouldering?
Bouldering.
What? What?
Yeah, we call it bouldering.
Really? Really?
It's what we call it.
How long have you called it bouldering?
Ever since I was a beer maker.
So that's mountain climbing.
Climb the walls with half the harness.
How about the harness?
So you need rock climbing.
Heck yeah, absolutely. So you climb little rocks.
Yeah.
Half the height, no harness. You ever fall?
Yeah, you fall all the time.
You fall on other dudes' penises?
You fall in love with the dude.
Joel's eating out back here. Look out. Wow. What else? When you're not bouldering, what else are you into?
I tried archery. Fucking terrible.
Right.
Fitness and shit. I just try and keep regularly fit. Trying to do fitness as much as I can, and then just keep fit.
Oh, you're a lottery winner. That's so cool. My goodness. I don't understand what he's saying. You have that thick accent. What part of town are you from? Where are you from? Right here, right here. North Brisbane. What are we talking about? Are we talking about fucking Kalbusha? Oh wow.
So the accent's thicker in Brisbane, right? Compared to like all of Australia, it's a little thicker.
They won't admit to it, but yes, it is for sure. Shut the fuck up. What the fuck is this fucking Brisbane Waldo fuck over here? Shut your fucking mouth.
I can't even understand what
When you get pulled out of this sweat ball hat, you can fucking talk. Just for the record. Fucking wacky ass Australians chiming in on this shit like a goddamn magpie. No one asked for your opinion.
I saw this new locksmith thing that where it's like this like a drill that vibrates it, so you can like unlock it. You lock in like a second. Yeah. It's not that new. It's we all use it. It's like your job. Pretty much any of us would buy this like $20 thing. And wow. I had it to try it. You get that sick. It's so easy. Yeah.
That's incredible. Man, that is so interesting. What else about you, Nick? I feel like there's something we haven't quite covered about you. You know what it is? What's something that you wouldn't want this audience to know?
What up, big dog?
Really?
What up, big dog? Oh, it needed an update?
You have a girlfriend here tonight?
No, I'm single.
It's okay, coming, lady. It needs an update.
Okay, is it good now?
It's update. It's saying towards
This
my
drill
phone.
thing has actually been around for a while, right?
Okay, so charge your phone. Do what you need to do. No big deal.
It's fun. Well, Nick, fun stuff, man. Ever on stage, but somehow you're the most out of the hat so far tonight.
I don't know how long I can't stay in.
Everybody.
Did you say big man?
How my cat?
It's okay, pal.
That's okay here. That's fine.
Sit there with a fucking pouty face now, right?
I'm afraid to bring it if I do the same thing.
Relax, all right? Enjoy
Okay, well, you
yourself.
can test it out. It's
Here
okay.
is with your next comedian, Elon Scully. Elon Scully. Here he comes.
Let me tell something like that.
Test it. See if it works.
Here we go. Elon Scully, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright. Was going to call it last minute of this month, but
My family.
3 kids, 3 women.
Is it working now?
Well, it's logical.
Yep, working now.
Very cool, big dog.
I thought my cats are now they're not.
Excellent.
What'd you do, Rabbi?
Adjusted my computers.
Was it offline?
No, I'm just making minor changes to them.
Called me up to sing Seven Nation Army.
Alright, can I just sit them?
Yes, sir.
4 dudes respond me. All 4 dudes got bars.
What's that? Is that a speaker thing too by this light now?
What'd you say, big man?
What's up, next light now?
I can't hear you.
What's that next light now?
What's this?
No, green.
I don't know.
Yellow.
Oh, that.
Oh, you didn't know
Those are speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're green right now,
What'd you do?
and then they're red
Oh, I see. You're trying to make
right
me
here
do some shit.
by my foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are speakers.
There's speakers.
Correct.
I wonder what they were.
Well, now you know.
Hell yeah.
They're pretty, aren't they?
Elon, so
Did you watch the UFC fight on my house,
100%. Did you?
Eon Scully.
No, I missed it.
So close
Good
to
one.
having the name of a genius.
There were like
Yeah.
7 winners, so bunch of guys.
My goodness.
Are
So,
there any sports
this didn't
tonight?
go like you thought it was going to go.
4 years of watching you guys.
Oh, MLB's playing right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell
baseball,
you
dude.
something, Eon. I'm gonna get right to the point here. I'm
That's
very,
playing
very
right now.
disappointed.
All right,
in
we'll
you,
check it out.
okay?
Well, guys,
And it didn't seem like you really prepared, but I want you to make
I'm
it up
gonna
to me.
say
Are you willing
here.
to make it up to me?
Sounds good, big man.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I broke rule. I was listening to the podcast you dropped this recently.
You must have looked at my stuff.
Well, that brings me to exactly what I'm going to ask you to do to make up for this with me. This is Brian, Jeremiah, and Joel's first time ever in Australia, and they've never seen anyone do a shoey before. The shoes off. Can we get a beer? Can someone grab me a beer?
You know what these are? They're NFTs and they cost me a little bit.
Oh, okay, sure. Can someone grab a beer?
Worth some money that I will drink a shoe in.
What about it? What about
The
it?
NFTs are
I don't give a fuck. Here you go. Here's a fresh beer, ladies and gentlemen. This shit's about to go down. This is the first ever shoey in Kiltonian.
This one goes out to the people on YouTube out there.
Hand the microphone to Timmy. We don't want to get
You know,
Still think you want to know.
Have you ever seen this before?
Okay,
Joel?
sounds
There's
good, Big
an
Dog.
Australian tradition called a
I had it
shui.
with Zantac 45. I put in this.
Shut up and drink it.
Here you go, your first ever shui. Yeah, there you go.
That seems like a bad idea.
Australian as fuck.
Nobody tells you about that part.
Thank you, Eon.
I got told to mention this, so I was going to say, so I have D&M's with William. He calls me regularly.
William Montgomery calls you?
You
You want to call him right now?
He actually told me to call you.
Okay, call him. What is it, 5 a.m. there right now?
Yeah, he calls me, but he's usually awake at 5 a.m.
Hit send on that shit.
I turned my phone off because I was dying when the
Wow, you are a complete fuck up.
I am a failure. Hey, 3 kids in 3 different women's shows.
Oh my god, I know. You'd cream pie a magpie if you had a chance.
Creeper.
Alright, Eon, you are over 14 on jokes tonight. I don't know if you're keeping track of this or what. I don't know what part of Logan you drove down from.
Actually, Rockhampton. I actually drove 800 kilometers.
Looks like he's found ourselves an old Logan bogan, am I right? What's going on over here? You smell like beer-filled shoes. What's going on? How often do you and William talk on the phone?
Very regularly, to the point where I was that excited that.
Wow. Okay. Are you gonna call him or what? Hit fucking send on the phone call. Put that
Send a picture of his freckled dick to him.
Yeah. Let's see if William picks up here. I think it would be a goddamn anomaly.
It would be unreal.
Is it on speaker? Do you have it on speaker?
Oh, but yeah, it is. Video call.
That's a video.
Oh my god. William answer. Wait, that's
I doubt that he's going to. I doubt that he's going to pick up, but it would be worth it if it save the segment of your part of the show.
Shout out to my girlfriend.
So, wow. Which one?
Shit. What?
3 different baby mamas, huh?
Oh, well, I'm not going to go.
I've got a microphone on your head there, right? So, are you a singer?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know Brisbane had an 8-mile.
Yeah.
I'm more like 3 miles.
What the fuck does that mean? What do you do for work?
I ship truck parts down to mines.
You ship truck.
Central Queensland.
Central Queensland. Oh man, Jesus! I just thought you were the DJ at the beat.
Oh, no. I blow the DJ at the beat.
The local gay bar, the beat. Goodness.
What kind of singing do you do, mate?
Yeah, let's.
Metal scene. Definitely no disturb, but yeah, I used to sing metal.
Why don't you acapella something right now? Just give us a little something that you can do.
Because that doesn't do it.
Just get right into it. Don't
We've all seen the man at the liquor store begging for your change. Hair on his face, the red locker full of mange. He asked the man why he spare me. Yeah, but maybe because I'm used to it.
The lights make it so much better.
It actually makes it way sadder for some reason. I don't know why. You said metal and then you started singing every last blues song.
At fucking 10% effort.
Yeah.
Alright, Eon. You know what? Thanks for doing the shoey. You completely redeemed yourself. Eon Scully, everybody.
Hey,
Keep it moving
thanks,
on.
Doc.
Let's keep it moving along there. Oh, it's
You know how that shoe thing started and like where's that from?
It was the great Steve Irwin once did it, and ever since then, everybody does it. I don't know. No, I don't think anyone knows how it started, but Australians fucking love it more than anything in the world. Pulled a name out of the bucket. Your next comedian, Darren Watson. Darren Watson. Darren, here he comes. This way, Darren. Fuck yeah. You know this is gonna go good. Yeah.
Hang on, fellas. First of all, this first bit's going to be a fair bit about my girlfriend. It's just a bit of pedigree mention the way she was looking at me once, so that's going to come up on this podcast. So, anyway, was she allowed to look at food porn when I'm making food? But I'm not allowed to look at porn when she's looking at when we're about to have sex. It's a bit of a disconnection where she's going to be looking at that food porn, and I'm going to be not allowed to look at porn before sex. It's a bit unfortunate circumstance. It'll be if she's going to be, yeah, it's hard to know. So it's going to be an unfortunate circumstance if you're trying to get her to start doing stuff in the bedroom, though, because I tried to get it a bit rough with me last night, and she was, she leaned over into my ear and she said, "You're 30 years old and you got $300 in your bank account." That was a bit too rough for me. I fucking forgot my safe word after that one. And yeah, that's all I had actually. I thought I tried to fill out the time because I thought people would be laughing so fucking hard that I wouldn't have to make any more jokes than that. That was about it.
There you go. Absolutely, Darren Watson. Hell yeah, buddy. Come and go. Oh. Welcome to the show, Darren. First time doing stand-up?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, welcome. Congratulations to you.
I can see you analysing me, getting jokes ready for me.
Getting jokes ready.
All over. I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
You look like Daniel Day-Lewis.
Wow. I wrote down Daniel Day-Lewis. But,
I thought I went to rock climb yet.
I'm shooting the shoehorn. Let's give it Tibby over there.
He does look like a wanted poster of an old-timey boxer.
I'm not about this one though, because it's a bit of a cultural appropriation, I think, maybe going on with these guys. I think I might get it. I'm from San Diego. I might have to go on Twitter after this one.
Absolutely doodly, buddy. Whatever you just said, I completely agree. Didgeridoo, don't mention it. You know what I'm saying, dude? You are so Australian. It's crazy. Do you live at the koala park that we went to today?
Yeah, actually. I tried to do a minute before I got up here, and I listened on the phone. I was like, I can really fucking understand what I'm saying, and I have the Australian accent, so
have you ever thought about perhaps trimming your mustache a bit? I think it's messing up the way you talk.
It would be just really good.
Last time I saw Bush that thick, it was Jeremiah in San Francisco having a pubic hair competition. I don't know if you know this, but Jeremiah has the pubic hair of a 50-year-old woman with Down syndrome. So
my outback. I can really maintain.
I don't know. So Darren, let's talk about it. What have you been doing with your life up until this point? What?
I said I work in a contact center.
Contact center.
Voice very often.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how close I got. I pretty much got to be touching the mic. What's a contact center? What's a contact center?
It's like a phone. You talk on the phone all day with a headset.
Yes, I sit on the phone all day with a headset.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Do you come to work in like one of those bikes that have the really big back wheel and they're really
Small.
small?
Yes. Well, actually, I ride a unicycle, so I actually do ride a unicycle. Yes, actually, 100%.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, I know. It's all coming together now, isn't it?
Wow. That's incredible. So what other wacky shit do you do when you're not on a unicycle? I feel like you have a
wacky shit.
Let's check in with Timmy real quick.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to judge.
Hey, Darren, did you fucking hear me say we're checking in with Timmy? You running your own fucking show over there? Let's check in with Timmy.
Alright, we'll see if it works. Very delayed. Did the unicycle come as soon as through the mustache?
Yes, did a chicken egg.
Did it spring out of the ground? Like present itself like I'm your new hello owner, you know? Hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm the unicycle that's magically gifted to you when you grow that stash.
So it came together. When I bought the unicycle,
Okay.
Mustache.
Darren, when you're not on the, what other tricks do you got up your sleeve? I feel like there's other things. No one just rides the unicycle. There's always like something else, like rubbing your head and your belly at the same time.
What do you juggle?
No, I just stopped with the unicycle. I thought that was overperforming for myself, honestly.
Has anyone told you that you literally sound like a didgeridoo? Just don't stop. There's no space in between your words. So.
You know, I don't really do anything else when I got the unicycle. That's what I did. So I just keep the unicycle. I didn't really ever find it easy to do anything at all. I do work at a contact center. Unicycle center. Never shave my mustache here.
All right, we get quit taking the piss out of my mate over there.
Now I think maybe go for a little bit longer. It might be even funnier if you go for longer.
I have no idea what you're saying. Oh, they grounded that. Was he mean to me?
No, what's that? Don't translate. Don't translate.
Alright, well, there you go.
Alright.
I've always wondered what Australian Clark Kent would look like. This is pretty much it. Oh, shit. You mean a film beauty or
Hey, that's...
Darren,
What'd you say about my mom?
What's a likable thing about you? Like, what's something that would make us all be like, that Darren Watson's a cool guy after all? Forget the unicycle thing.
How long have I got?
Huh?
How long have I got?
How long have you got?
Yeah, to live? Hopefully not long. Unfortunate.
All these people want you to die, Darren. I'm trying to save you here. I asked you what's a likable thing. What? You wait until it's time for you to start talking. Let's check in with Timmy. Don't talk. Shut the fuck up. God, you are the worst of all time. Jeremiah, go ahead.
Hey, Timmy here. All right, so Tony is heavy, from his understanding you, right?
Yep.
So I think, he's already done his impression of you. I think you should do your impression of Tony.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. You got another segment created by Timmy. Go ahead.
Hey guys, well it's great to see you guys all out here. It's good to see Brisbane.
And the crowd goes wild, everybody. That was incredible. Thank you, Timmy, for that great segment.
Well, when you endorse it like they're going to be shit segments, you always wonder why they don't go well.
No,
And
that's
it's
not
because
true
it's in
at
the
all.
setup, actually, it's negative in connotation, and it really buries me in a hole before the segment even starts. And therefore, we're off to a bad start, so therefore it's negative. So
I just know what works and what doesn't.
If you would have been a little bit more supportive, you're like, it's all right.
I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Like a nagging girlfriend right now.
You've set it up. Anyway,
You guys are gonna force me to drink, guys.
oh no, we're not. Absolutely not. We get some cold bottles of water up here for my friend.
A real shimmy? Not like those lowered, I don't know what that is.
Shut the fuck up. There goes Darren Watson, everybody. I'm done with him. King of the double top. You come and go. Fuck yeah.
Oh God, you stare at Timmy.
Timmy looks like he's seeing a croc right now. Pull the name out of the bucket. Let's keep it moving. Garth James. Here we go. Here comes Garth. I'm excited about this. I can tell you already. I can already tell this is going to be one of the highlights. So feel that I know what we're doing on this show. This is about to work. I present to you Garth James, ladies and gentlemen. How about one more time for Garth James, everybody? And let me remind you, if you ever hear anybody heckle anybody that gets pulled out of this hat or this bucket on this show, if anyone ever does it, they're sitting next to you, you get to open hand slap them across their face as hard as you can. So something for you cokehead idiots in the audience to keep in mind. How about one more time for Garth James?
So my dad's a bit of a chunter. That means he's a bit of a cooked cunt. I like him, I love him, but I like him a lot more when he's sober, like in jail. No, I've come to learn he's not that bad. Just the worst thing I've seen personally. Get the water from the toilet bowl, shut up and get it. Probably hasn't happened to Ray Banks. He has a, what are they called, the squatty potties. Yeah, I don't have one of those while on the toilet seat, and there's a lot of velocity sometimes. I went kayaking once with the love of my life. We were pretty far from shore and I had to pee, so I tried to get to shore, but there wasn't enough time. I don't know if you've ever stood up in a kayak, but it's kind of difficult to balance. So, yeah, I took the kayak while peeing.
Fuck yeah. Garth James. That's how it's done. Fresh off of being the star of the new Child's Play movie, he still dresses in character as Chucky.
He looks like if Thor lived on Sesame Street.
I love your style. You are both the best looking guy I've seen in Australia so far and the best looking woman I've seen in Australia this far.
I thought it was a woman. I didn't hear the name.
Like, look at this.
This is one of the few creatures in Australia. Male and female.
Yeah. Just, he just said he couldn't get himself pregnant. How's it going, man? Is that true that you went hiking once with the love of your life? Or is that a joke?
Yeah, I did go kayaking.
Oh, kayaking, that's what you said. Wow, I really can't understand anything you people are saying. It's adorable. Kayaking, heck yeah. And what ended up happening there? I didn't catch the end of that.
So I had to pee really badly, and I tried to get back to shore. I didn't tell her what was going on, and then I just sort of had to stand up and I tried to pee over the side of the kayak, but it was windy, so I was kind of blowing back and happy. So I tried to lean over a bit more, and then I took the kayak.
Oh, so she got wet.
Yeah, and I was still peeing, like, one, we were in the water, and my dog was with us, so he
Jesus, you're like the R. Kelly of Australia. Look at you, just piss over everyone and everything, including the people you love. My goodness. So Garth, how long have you been stand-up?
This is my first time.
What? Get the fuck out of here. It's incredible. How old are you, Garth?
Great. I'm 28.
28 years old. What do you do for work?
I'm a game developer and a tutor.
Wow, game developer and a tutor. Shoot, what kind of games are we talking about? Boomerang, video game?
Epic horror games and weird indie games.
I love it. I love it. Are you still with the love of your life?
No, I've been single for 10 years.
10 days. What happened 10 days ago?
Years, not days.
Oh, 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You still haven't changed your overalls since that day, huh?
I bought these overalls so I could wear, like, have stained clothing and no one would think it's weird because people paint in overalls.
I'm not sure what you just said.
He wears overalls because if he stains them, no one cares because it looks like he just paints.
Right.
Red Man just found his next wife.
Great idea.
No, I promise, I'm a painter.
Yeah.
I paint with Wendy's.
Yeah.
They don't have Wendy's out here. Shitty. Hungry Jack's.
Hey, Hungry
Hungry
Jack's.
Jack's is garbage.
Oh, wow. Have you tried it yet?
It's just Burger King, right?
Yeah.
Burger King is garbage.
I think you should save this talks for your hamburger reviews that you've been doing the past day.
That's also garbage.
This is coming from the Burger Jester.
All right.
You ever wear your hair down, or do you always keep it like whatever that is?
Yeah.
I can take it down. I don't.
Wow, look at that. The ladies go wild, and so do the gay men in the room. This is great.
You look like if the leprechaun got really into going to music festivals.
Oh my goodness, Garth. What do you do for fun when you're not working or doing anything like that?
When I get a Florida, I like going to bush stuffs.
Going to what? What is it? What?
I like going to bush stuffs. It's when Australians go out to the outback and they play techno music and they're right.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's sort of like it's like if Bonnaroo had kangaroos, right?
Yeah.
You guys don't know what Bonnaroo is, huh? That's funny. All right. What you do like crazy drugs out there, like trippy things, acid, mushrooms, all that good stuff.
Yeah, all good stuff.
Koala poop, all the.
Haven't tried that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So 10 years you've been single, huh?
Yeah.
You're not interested in a relationship. You just sort of play in the field.
I think I just work too much. Like,
Yeah. I'd say overall, so that's probably a really big part of it. Are you on any of the dating apps or anything like that?
I was on Tinder for a little bit, and I got like 100 matches in a couple of weeks, and I didn't meet a single person.
Why is that?
I'm terrible at communicating to people over the internet and over the phone.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I just don't think I'm talking to a real person, I guess.
Huh. When's the last time you kissed a girl?
Probably 10 years ago.
Really? 10 years ago? Really? Anybody want to come up and kiss this guy? Are there any women in the audience that would be willing? It's been 10 years. Come on, there's got to be one girl in here that's willing to take this show to another level. Maybe this one right here, please. I'm begging you. Oh, please, if you do it, I'll give you a fucking loony or a toonie or whatever money you guys have here. Oh, come on, there's got to be some beautiful woman in the.
This is the first city that
There's got to be some.
wine.
There's got to be someone out there that's really. Hey, come on, here we go. We haven't had this happen on the show since Vancouver. Oh, this chick's hot.
You got a good
She's got bouncers over here. She's got a couple fucking Wallaby cups.
Put the microphone in.
Yeah. Put the mic in the mic stand, buddy. This is where the magic happens. Wow. Jesus. Oh my God. Wow. Damn. Woo. They're really both making out. And look, neither one of them is wearing underwear right now. That's incredible. Such mated pussy heaven.
Thank you, girl.
Damn, look at that. Wow.
Give it up for her, guys. That's fucking awesome.
Damn. What a sweet little fucking thing that is. Oh my God. How much did that kiss taste like cocaine drip? Good Lord.
Spit it in my mouth.
Like,
That was great. Thank you.
hell yeah. I love it. That's what we do. We make magic happen, pal. Is for a first, yeah, Titty?
Yeah, this is the new dating app he just signed up for. Is Tony just saying into a microphone, will anybody please kiss this guy?
Always works. It's never failed. I knew Brisbane wasn't going to let me down. Great job, you little fucking fun muffin, you. You. Goddamn. All right, Garth. Well, I mean, you had your first time ever on stage. You fooled me. I thought you were doing it a couple of years for sure. And then we had a lot of fun with you. Great interview. Way to listen. Way to take your time.
Do it again, man.
Big kiss. Do it again. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks, guys.
Garth James, everybody. He's on social media at Jart Games. So the G and the J are switched there. Jart Games. It's fun. All right, ooh la la. Time to get one of these Brisbane lovely ladies on stage. Put your hands together for your next comedian. Her name is Bridget Hassed. Bridget Hassed. Here she comes. How about a hand for the band? Killing it all night. All new music. Here's Bridget Hassed.
Hey, how you guys doing? You good? Good. I'm good. I went to my psych recently. right? I don't see it very often. So it's very expensive. It's $400 to see my sis. So much money, right? Like that's so much money to see a medical professional and not be fixed. Right? Like that's arguably that's so much money. To see, oh yeah. And like that's so much money. Oh my god. Thanks, man. Like that's too much money to be told inevitably I'm the one that has to fix the problem. Like it doesn't happen in any other industry, right? Like normally you pay for services rendered, right? Like you'd be furious if you got your plumber to come over and all they did was tell you why your drains are clogged, but then how you can fix them. Like inevitably you'll be doing most of the plunging, but hopefully you'll walk away with the skills necessary to make sure nobody takes a shit that size in your toilet again.
Yeah, Bridget Hassett. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Heck yeah. Welcome. How long have you been on stand-up?
2 years in January.
2 years in January. Heck yeah. Brian's about to invite you to the Ice House on.
Yeah, what are you doing next Friday in Dina, California?
What? Oh, okay. I don't think.
I think she said yes.
There you go. Heck yeah. Bridget, what do you do for work?
I work in legal admin.
Legal admin.
Yeah.
Everybody basically has the same job except for the locksmith here. Everyone's just some type of answering phones.
No, I do a lot of
No. The old Australian no, for those of you that don't know. No. There's an A before their O in Australia. N-A-O. No. And it ends with like 3 U's. No. Okay, legal admin. Been doing stand-up for 2 years. You from here in Brisbane?
Yeah, roundabout. I was born in Melbourne.
Roundabout. Melbourne. I love it. What do you do for fun around town?
I just hang out with my boyfriend around town. We just try and do.
Heck yeah. How long you been with your boyfriend?
A year and a half.
You just got uninvited to the Ice House.
Year and a half. What does he do?
He's also a comedian, and he studies graphic design.
Graphic design. Heck yeah. What's your favorite thing about him?
Honestly, he's the funniest person.
I'm back, everybody.
Wow, that's incredible. Who is he? Arch Barker?
Okay.
You Australians love yourself some fucking Arch Barker, huh?
Come on, bring
Yeah,
it.
Arch Barker.
Bring it. I was
Here, he's like their Seinfeld or
saying
something. It's so weird.
It seems everything yet compared. But
Anyway. So,
Okay.
that's
it
Bridget,
seems
TV
I'm on
stand-up
Microsoft.
comedy.
I'm not Firefox. Wherever you call me. The ones I'm saying with hooking. It seems never can get to fail.
Yeah, no, where does he
Okay,
at?
did you reset the device?
Cool. What's he studying?
Listen,
Did you reset the device?
What school does he go to?
It's a place
no.
Okay, we'll do so.
That's for poor people, right? Just kidding.
Okay, I will.
Okay, no.
Oh, it is expensive. That's cool. How do you stay entertained while he's out at school? You guys live separate places.
So we live together, yeah.
He's in class right now.
Yeah, so he's doing like a 3-month intensive course. Right.
Oh, okay. So, but you guys still, he comes home at night. Okay, cool. Did he?
How long have you been singing psych?
On and off. This particular site for 3 years. It's expensive.
It is expensive here in Australia.
It can be. Like we have a thing.
Well, if you reckon my psych, great conversation.
And that's fun. Taking care of your mental health is an important situation, and we demand that all listeners of the show have mental health issues. Heck yeah. So being a comedian's rough. You guys always sort of do the same gigs, like you guys do like mics together, because it's sort of weird there being a 8-year difference in the time span of when you started. You guys are sort of on different levels.
Yeah, no, we are on different levels. Like he's more of a headliner and MC, but he'll headline MC if he's about to do something. I'll do it 5 minutes while
Right. Does he have you do 5 minutes every 15 minutes before the show starts, and you have to wear a hat like this? Because if so, he does not respect you. Shout out to Sean Conway, because he always opens for me on all road gigs in Australia and by law. Wow, what else about you? What else would we find interesting about you? You can do a lot of guys hit on you when you go do stand-up comedy alone, or Australian comedians.
we find you get some like 40-year-old dudes who are really nice.
They come in wearing their overalls, they let their hair down. Next thing you know, you're
Yeah.
What's the strangest way you've ever been trying to get beat up? Like any bad lines or anything like that?
Oh, it's just saying how well the job that I did really. It's nothing too weird. It's just the general vibe. Like I don't have any good stories about me.
all good. What do you do for fun when you're Yep, okay. Timmy, go ahead.
Yeah, read that. Tell a good set and see if she screams.
Do you want me to find a stingray sound effect?
I have no idea what's going on. Let's just. Oh boy. Okay. When you're not doing stand up or going to school or whatever, what do you do for? Kick locks. You have the crazy drill thing.
Oh, you have a Hitachi?
I haven't heard of it. No.
You know, are there any cool yoga poses maybe you could do right now?
I can buy it.
Would you guys like to see her do something cool that she does from yoga? Oh, the crowd goes fucking wild. Here we go. Whoa. Wow. Oh, how about a hand for her, everybody? She gave it a
I
shot.
haven't done it in a while.
That's the old Danwood facing koala right there. Jimmy? Something you just gripping that mic for?
No, I'm on a cold streak right now, mate.
Hell yeah.
It's all right, but reptiles are cold-blooded, actually. Sometimes they need to recede into a cave.
I love it. Bridget, I'll tell you this, man. You represented the ladies great up here. I don't think a lot of them signed up, and you just had a great set. Thank you so much for coming on. Bridget Hassett, everyone.
That was great.
It's always fun. It's fun when Kelsey skipped. Okie dokie. I can't stand it when you reference people that no one knows who you're talking about, but Google, I guess, like, yes. Go Google the door guy with the comedy store. So we have your next comedian, Matty J. Matty J. Where's Matty at? I'm not seeing movement here. Okay, here he comes. Matty J. Moving at a breakneck speed. This is incredible. Here he is, Matty J, everyone.
Hey, Rizzy, how's it going? This was weird. When I got home, my girlfriend was having doggy kisses with my dog. Then she would come up straight away and like make out with me fiercely. What? Next minute, having sex with bed. Dog, what's up? Just came forward. So I go American with psycho mode, and I'm like, having sex, flexing at the dog. Like, what? What's up with that?
Fuck yeah, Matty J. There you go.
Thank you so much, guys.
Cracking himself up. I mean, did you just hear the joke that you did for the first time? How are you laughing this hard at a joke that you clearly have known that you're going to do? You've written it down, and here you are just dying up here. Do you always laugh this hard at everything that you do? Are your pants cutting off all the circulation to your brain right now?
He's got that Joaquin Phoenix joke and laughing syndrome. Joaquin Phoenix what? Never mind.
That's
I do want to say where I thought he was going with the joke, with the dog making out with your girlfriend. I thought that when your dog was in the room that you were going to look your dog's eyes and have doggy style sex with your girlfriend, stick it back in your dog's food. But you didn't go there.
Right. You were right about that cold streak, huh?
This is the kind of support I love for the show. There's a big ensemble group mentality up here. Absolutely love it.
You know us, the Kill Tony cast and their amazing support system that we have.
Great working on it.
I get a fastest.
Tony. Oh, no one drinks Foster's.
He's kidding, by the way.
You said Foster's, right? Foster's.
No. Stop talking. Stop asking questions.
I liked it better when he was just laughing.
So, Maddie, let's talk about these fucking jeans that you're wearing here, alright? I don't know what the hell is going on here. What are those in your pocket? These in your left pocket?
That's a dick.
No, that's not a dick, for sure. That's a big blobby. What do you got there? Keys?
Keys, buddy.
Yeah, pull them out. Let's see how many keys here. These pants, I want to see. It seems like it'd be yeah, you just struggled to get those out. What else do you have in your pockets? You have a Honda? You drive a Honda?
Yeah, Honda.
Accord?
Accord Euro.
Yep, goddamn right.
That's
There's a lighter.
Euro has got leather seats.
How about that pocket? What do you have in that pocket?
It's a phone and a wallet.
I've never seen anyone squeeze into jeans quite like that
Well,
before.
you know why, Tony? This guy looks like they stretched out a little person.
Yeah, it's true.
Those are his jeans before it happened.
Yeah, this looks like if Conor McGregor was fighting with his sexuality.
Or with his chromosomes.
I'm interested to see, how many people have to help you take those pants off when you get home at night?
Go to team, Tony. Go to team.
Oh, what?
I've got a team to help. He's got a team of people.
Very interesting.
Holy shit, man. This is fucking awesome, dude. Like, I listen to you all the time. See you, you're fucking amazing. Closest I can get to Joe Rogan.
Right. No, you're right. No, he's right. That's not an insult at all. This is the closest thing you will ever get to talking with Joe Rogan. You're absolutely scientifically correct. I hang out with him, and you never will. Right. You're right. It's impossible. What could you possibly do? What are you gonna go out there and talk about how you've lived years without any circulation going to your feet? The return of Joe Rogan. Every once in a while, he calls in when there's someone like you on the show.
Oh.
What was that, Joe? There you go, Matty J. So, what do you do for work?
Nothing interesting. I'm going to make a welder by trade. A welder.
A welder.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
Why would I bowl, dude?
You just seem like a bowler. You know what I mean? You just have the build for it. You have the face for it. You laugh at your own jokes. Sport built for people like you.
I guess, I don't know, you hate that answer, but I suppose just get the boys around, drinks, go out.
Yeah, get the boys around.
The town.
Absolutely.
Is that the team you're talking about, getting those pants off you? Yeah. Just getting a lot of boys around you, just like, come on, we can do it this time, mate. Slither in there. Mate, you're not wrong. Let's see. You want to join the team? Alright, sure. Wait, you just feel like I'm a pawn or something. I
I'm missing it.
What are you kissing? What do you and the boys like to do after drinking? Anything special you guys ever do? When they're back in town, when they get back in town, is there anything you guys ever do together? You guys have some drinks and go dancing?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, you always come over to my place and, just drink and
Sit around your place to drink?
play some tunes.
Play some shoes?
Shoes. I was saying that's my mate, Gus. Yeah, I was like, fuck, whoever the fuck does a shoe?
Why do a shoey?
No, I'm just saying people in general, like, who does... No, never.
I don't think you diss it until
Oh,
you
yes,
try it. I think you should try one right now. But you know what? But you know what? I don't think you should do it out of your shoe. I think you should do it out of this lady's shoe right here in the front row. Come on, take it off of her. Her husband's taking the shoe off of her.
No.
She's down on one knee. He's taking her shoe.
What happens when you don't do a shoe?
There's the beer. Come on.
Oh, you fucking wake up.
How many of you want to see him do it? Come on, do it, buddy. You gotta do it.
Fuck you, Gareth, you piece of shit in the back there.
There's a first time for everything. You guys need to make more noise. One more time. Come on. His first shoey. Here we go.
That is so fucking dumb. Holy shit.
Why are they doing?
He didn't finish the shoey. Another shoe. Somebody else needs to do the rest of it. That's a national crime if you don't do it.
What's he doing? He threw the shoe down. He's putting the mic back in the mic stand. He tried to do half the beer in the shoe, and the crowd was not having it. This is a crazy Australian tradition. Yes! He threw the shoe back at her.
And he threw it back at the woman and it hit her in the face.
It's good. No, it didn't. How about a hand for this young lady right here? Her badass man that made it all possible. These guys fucking get the show. You get the showy, and you get the shoey. You just won everybody over. That's your first show. How long have you been on?
All my life, yeah.
All your life. And how old are you?
29.
29 years old. Well, I got news for you. You say you've been Australian all your life, but I'm pretty sure we'll agree you just became Australian right now. Having your first shoeing. A beautiful woman shoe in the front row.
This is the most ridiculous shit ever. Like, what the fuck is going on here with this shoey shit?
This is Kill Tony Brisbane. Well, Maddie, you fucking did it, pal. You know what? I have a feeling you're going to have an easy time slipping out of those jeans tonight.
Tony, this is my first time actually on stage ever as well.
I love it. Well, congratulations. There he goes, Maddie Day. There we go. Oh, yeah, sure. There you go, buddy. I actually can't believe this shit. I'll give you guys I'll give you a Tony pin after for that. How about that? Go for it. With the mustard. Yes, there you go. Sorry we got your shit. That was my bad. If they're brand new, it's okay. It's just a little beer on the inside. You know, anyway, they don't have those here. Oh, I thought it's from Woolworths. All right. Pull the name out of the mug and make some noise for Twiggy Bundles. Twiggy Bundles. Wow. Here. Oh! We got a heckler. Twiggy Bundles. It's the guy that I told to shut the fuck up in the audience earlier. Here he is, Twiggy Bundles, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise for him.
So, noticed a
increase in Holocaust denial at the moment. And I blame outrage culture. All these people getting offended by every single tiny little thing. They don't realize they're doing actual damage. Seriously offensive things aren't as offensive now. I spoke to a Holocaust denier recently, and he made some actual convincing arguments, but I wasn't having a vote. It says 6 million Jews. I don't think that's really possible. Over 4 years, 170 Jews an hour the entire time going around the clock. It just doesn't seem possible. Because, I mean, you got to think about the logistics. You got to get all that coal. You got to bury all those bodies. And I said to him, mate, how dare you insult and undermine the meticulousness and record keeping of the Germans?
Wow, this was crazy. This was more of a yeah. Let's check in with Tibby.
Yeah, from Shuey to hates Jewies.
That's right. This is a very interesting set that you've chosen here. It's the punchlines, just a little pure hatred. Who would guess that this could be the set from the guy interrupting the show wearing the thick black leather Nazi jacket? But somehow, by the way, you have a Jewish face and head, so I don't understand why you're against the people. If you throw Jeremiah's nose on there, you have the trifecta complete.
Even though there's no guns in Australia, he still manages to look like a school shooter.
Absolutely, really does. So, Twiggy, what made you choose that set tonight, or are you just a Holocaust denier?
I'm one of those people that when you say, do you like when people bomb or succeed? Yeah, I'm one of those people that lives for the bomb. So I came up here.
YouTube commenter.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Red Band's arch nemesis.
So, Twiggy, let's talk about it. First time on stage?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
I'm a postie.
A what? You're a what?
I'm a postie.
A what?
A postie. Postal delivery person.
Oh,
Like USPS.
Postal delivery person.
They're really hated in Australia.
They are?
Yeah.
Why is that?
They just ride over everyone's lawns and put red cards instead of delivering items.
Is that what you do? You ride a bicycle?
Motorbike, yeah.
A motorbike. It's a scooter. Alright.
So, do they not have Jewish people out here, and that's why you have the balls to say all this shit? Or
I'm gonna.
Is there a heavy Jewish population in Australia?
No. So that's why.
That's why you thought it would work.
you try to do this in LA, see what happens.
Harvey Weinstein would butt rape you if he heard you say these things. He doesn't even do that to dudes.
I'm actually Jewish German heritage.
Wow. Yeah, you should probably know that part.
No, see,
So that people don't think you're a hateful. You ever think about that?
did you hear the part about how I wanted, like I liked the bombers?
Sure. Yeah, we almost all believe that. Yeah, totally expecting to make people sad. Wow, that's impressive. So, how long have you been a single?
Let's go with the.
All my life, I've been a pray for someone like you. You're an incel, right? That's what they call you? Is that the proper term?
Online, they call them professional virgin.
You are a virgin. Are you? Don't try to be funny, because you obviously don't know what the fuck that is. So just answer the questions honestly.
No.
Okay, you're not. You're not a virgin.
Honest. No.
Right.
Married.
Married? How long you been married for?
4 years.
4 years.
Wow, what's the longest That's name.
What did she do?
She's a stay-at-home mom.
Stay-at-home mom. How many kids do you have? How
Two
many
kids.
Two folks bigots you're raising.
What a great father.
Yeah. And what's your wife's ethnicity?
She's just Australian.
Just Australian. Wow. Do you hear how he says that, people? My goodness. He's like, I'm Jewish and German. Oh, she's just Australian. My God. How'd you get here? Are you from here? Born and raised?
No, I originally came over from South Africa.
From South Africa. Wow. Your parents still in South Africa, or they moved here too?
They moved here too.
Yeah. Why were they in South Africa? That's interesting. I don't know how these stories work.
They fled Zimbabwe.
Wow, they were in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And they went to South Africa, and then they came here. They had to flee there. Was that
Something like that.
something like
They
that?
didn't want to be apartheid.
Yeah. You want the tricks? They were the opposite side. They were
Never mind.
the white hairs. Yeah.
Okay.
Why does his cats seem like they've seen more wildlife than mine?
That is true. Those are some amazing khakis. How did you prepare those like that? Like that almost seems like a challenge. Like, did you wring them out after washing them? Like
Twisted them in your hand.
Oh, that would be my stay-at-home wife that done that.
Sorry to do a better job.
Jeez Louise. Yeah. Clearly doesn't get it.
The only iron he knows is an iron cross.
Very good. I don't know what kind of yeah. So Twiggy, what do you do for fun? Any hobbies? You have the two kids, but you ever do anything to get away from the house? That typical Australian wife of yours?
I'll play squash, and then listen to a lot of podcasts.
Listen to how everybody laughs at that. I think they all just start cracking. It's genuinely one of the biggest real laughs that I've heard from this audio. Real just cackle. A bunch of people just laughing at you. What the fuck is squash, by the way? I mean, we really don't have that.
Indoor tennis.
Indoor tennis. But it's not racquetball.
It's like racquetball.
We like racquetball. Racquetball's awesome. Squash isn't, or else we'd play it in America if it was awesome. We love awesome shit. That's what we do.
I think they might just call squash racquetball in America.
No fucking way. Even if I find out that's true, there's no way I'll ever admit to that. That's my equivalent to being a Holocaust denier. I am a squash denier. Never happened. Hell yeah. How long you been playing squash for?
About 5 or 6 years now.
Oh, okay. So that's on sort of like an indoor court, but to get there, do you have to come out of the court?
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
The fact that the squash and pickleball are two completely different sports.
No, I know.
The most major difference is that the rackets used in the latter are smaller, but they're allowed maximum length of 22 inches, while the squash rackets can have a maximum of 7 inches. Good at that.
Yeah. Absolutely. For those of you listening to the podcast, he just rattled that off all straight from his brain. He just sat there in front of a microphone and gave those statistics. That was very impressive.
Yes, I've been in the water a long time.
Heck yeah.
Don't type in squash Jew.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I love it.
Jew, man.
Exactly who I trusted to mix another Jew joke into this segment of the show. It's always good to get some of Red Band's Jewish jokes spoken in here. He's famous for it. Did you know that?
I did not.
Tell us something embarrassing about you, because everything seems like it is that every time I've tried to make you look good, you do it to yourself. So I wanted what's the thing about you? You just said that. I don't know how that got that laugh then. Like I said that in the middle of the question, then he said it. You guys are all like, ha 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 ha. Like, what the fuck was that? Embarrassing.
I'm probably the least funny member of my family.
Now we know that. Come on.
There you go.
Twiggy, you even said you don't want to do good. You don't like to do good. Remember when you gave that bullshit excuse? So we know you don't want to be funny. Give us something else. You ever maybe something from your history? You ever poop your pants or you ever prematurely ejaculate while on the dance floor, 7th grade dance? Bump and grind going on.
Rode an ostrich once.
You rode an ostrich. So that's when you came in your pants. That's so crazy.
Does your wife know you call her that?
Well, Twiggy, I mean, there you go. A real cop-out saying that you didn't want to do good, but you did it anyway. This is a show anyone can sign up, and you did. There you go. It's Twiggy Bundles. Just keep it going. Think so? This is interesting. Birthday parentheses. Put your hands together for Adric McLeod. Adric, here he comes. Adric McLeod. Adric McLeod, everyone. Arrival and the last announcement.
Give it up for Adolf Hitler before. So I'm a type 1 diabetic, which sucks, can't do a lot of things. I can still fuck though, which is cool. And I don't like pulling out, so I'm the only diabetic that can enjoy a creeper, so that's cool. Speaking of cream pies, however, we live in a weird world where a lot of males feel down themselves for not being touched by attractive teachers at school. It's weird. I don't have to worry about that. I was one of the lucky few that back about it. Still, my mates trying to be I was homeschooled. It's not as hot, and Christmas reunions fucking suck. That's all I got to know.
There you go. Adric McLeod. It's your birthday?
This was a birthday present a month ago.
Alright, well that's real
So I didn't put my name down, it's not my
Oh, you put your name down.
A friend of mine.
Did you know that they put your name down?
I did, but I didn't know the birthday thing until I sat down.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
First, how long have you been on stand-up?
First time.
First time. Congratulations. What do you do for work?
I manage a liquor store.
Manage a liquor store. How long have you been doing that for?
About 5 years.
Oh, that's fun. You enjoy that?
Yeah, you get some characters in Australian liquor stores.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen tonight's show, but I agree with you.
Most of my clientele here.
Liquor store. You guys ever sell anything else there? Anything like that?
Was really sucks. Alcohol.
It's fun. Where do you live in?
Brisbane, pretty close to
The city. Like, what street? Anyway, so Adric, tell us about you. What's some interesting stuff about you that we'd like to know? Do you have any fun facts about you, like your father is an Emu or something like that, or
my father's like 60 and still plays in punk bands.
really?
Strange.
Yeah, is he here tonight? Cool.
Yeah, he opened for a Brisbane band called the Saints.
He's here? Is he here?
Yeah.
He's not here.
You know the Saints? No, he's not here.
Right. He's not here. How about you? You play music at all?
I used to play years ago.
Yeah, what'd you play?
A little bit of guitar, not a drummer. Sorry.
That's okay. Don't apologize. How about your love life? What's that like?
Partner of nearly 4 years.
What?
A partner of nearly 4 years.
Partner? So it's a boy?
No, female.
Oh. I don't know how anything works here.
In the States, when you say partner, that means you're gay.
Once you get to 30, it's not fun. It's weird.
So romantic.
Heck yeah. So, is there anything interesting about you that you can tell us about, Adric? Did I say that right, Adric?
Patrick. When I was 5, I developed a phobia of taking a shit.
Yeah. Why? What happened?
I shat myself in a public store as a kid, and
Okay, Red Man.
Yeah, that sucked. So I was like, cool, I'm not doing that again.
But I couldn't hear you. I was laughing because everybody keeps yelling trash can from the audience.
He's starting to spread like a disease. Hashtag dildo party.
A lot of people did the hashtag dildo party. That ended up trending worldwide. Anyway, ad trick. That's so fun. But you know what? We're getting real deep into the show. We're going to keep flying along. How about one more time for ad trick, everybody? Fuck yeah. What do you guys think? One last hat, huh? Oh yeah. You guys sure? One more time? We could get out of here now. Alright, fine. And your last comedian of the night goes by the name of Anthony Roach. Anthony, this is a big spot, man. This is closing the show. Is that Anthony? There we go. Coming from the bar, that's never a good sign. Rock and roll.
He's going to be out of breath also. He's going to dog it just a little bit.
Come on, comedian. Oh, shit. Anthony Rowe, everyone.
That's right. Listen to Tony 3 with Red Man. Absolutely true. That's fine. Or what? Yeah, come on. He's 29, she's 23. He's doing a good job. Congratulations. I'm from Gold Coast. Anyone from Gold Coast here? Fuck yeah. How long was your drive on the M1? Fuck, man. That took a while. Hour 23 minutes or something like that. Super max time anyway. Can anyone hear the teacher in year 2 on the Gold Coast who drank vodka from a drink bottle? Passed out in front of her class. She drank hand sanitizer as well. She's just a fan, I reckon, but.
Anthony Rose, everyone. You know, man, you're a good-looking guy. You got to do a minute on Kill Tony. There's something I just can't end an episode with someone like you. You don't play the drums by any chance, do you? You don't play drums, do you?
I wish.
I wish you did too. Put that mic back in the mic stand, Anthony. There you go. The mic in the mic stand. I didn't realize any of Donald Trump's sons lived in Australia, by the way. There goes Anthony Rowe, everyone. Is there by any chance anyone that signed up tonight that does know how to play the drums? That knows how to play the drums? Are you, he's not saying that at all, sir. You understand that you're pointing at a guy next to you. Being a good drummer. Did anybody sign up tonight that knows how to play the drums? That guy just knows how to play the drums? Alright, well then let's just have a Mexican drum off then. Fuck it. Come up here. This guy up here. I don't give a fuck. We're gonna end it with a bang. Then we're gonna get out of here. There he goes. I don't know who this guy is. I really don't give a fuck, but Hal, you ever seen the show again?
Yeah, man, I love you guys.
Yeah, you do, but you don't ever want to do the show, right? You have no interest in it. Oh, you were late to sign up. Yeah, that's what happens when you make straight to a retarded brother. You show up late to things. Why were you late? I know it was a irony in your shirt. What do you people do here? What do you guys do? Just shove your shirts and your pants into socks?
He was at that dude's wife's earlier. That's right.
It's incredible. How long have you been playing drums for? This is the most untalented bunch of people. Alright, well, let's see how you do. What's your name, pal? Brenton what? Brenton Name. Whatever. Alright, let's have a drum off here. I don't know if you know how this works, Brenton. You don't have a talented bone in your mouth. I'll tell you this. You have a chance of becoming the new Brenton. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you're seeing fucking unicorns right now, but you need to pay a little bit of attention, alright? I get it. You're fucking good looks to get you through everything here in Brisbane when you're out there on the Wick Cabin cans? Wick Cabin? Wick? Is that street? Don't do it? Doesn't matter. This guy is out of nowhere. Didn't even have a chance to sign up tonight, but now he has the opportunity to become the new full-time drummer on the show. If he just so happens to be Joel in this drama, he's going to Melbourne tomorrow for a sold-out show at the Comics Lounge. He's going to Sydney, sold-out show Sunday at the Factory Theater. He's going back to LA with us on Monday. It would be shocking because no one's ever beaten Joel before. Let me remind you that the audience decides this. It's an overall drum solo competition based on overall wise. Gentlemen, I present to you the defender. Drum off of all time. This is Brenton Payne. Oh, wow. Look at this. This could come down to the wire. Wow, Brenton Payne, that's very good. That's very, very good. This is very interesting. This could come down to the wire here. March to the beat of a different drummer. So let's see what happens here. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever in Australia to end tonight's episode, he takes this very seriously. Everything we see, he could lose his fucking job tonight. So he's very seriously when someone comes up to compete with him. Defending his throne live in Brisbane, Australia, I present to you Joel Jimenez. Here we go. Oh! He's got the purple dildo. Oh my God! He's got the white dildo from Sacramento on his forehead. And I got the real one hanging down under. He's got 3 pieces attached to him right now. This is incredible. A white penis coming off that blonde head. By the way, the top of his head, that's what Jeremiah's pubes look like all together. Here he is, defending his throne, undefeated all time. Triple J, Joel Jimenez.
What up, Tony? Tony, how can I help you?
Whoa! He went over the railing! He just jumped 4 feet in between the stage and the safety
What's
railing.
good, son?
He almost ran over a professional photographer.
How can I help you?
Back overhead. Oh my goodness!
I
What's
can't
he
hear.
doing?
Yeah.
Whoa!
So, how
A
are you?
handstand.
Doing well. How are you?
Oh, he's got the nail now.
Thankfully.
I am doing. I'm doing interesting. Let's say that.
Okay.
I'm doing very interesting and okay. I have a big favorite one. I have that my link for Amazon. Yes,
Okay.
I have a link.
Yeah.
Can you like put that link in your social media?
No. I don't push people's stores or merch or anything. The big thing about what I do is it's all free. I don't want people to. Uh,
Okay.
I don't sell to people, nothing like that.
I just ask.
Absolutely, I understand. It's worth a shot.
I just so yeah. So
Are you gonna put it in your social media?
yeah.
Okay.
Link to okay. Link is they gonna click on the link and they are gonna I don't know like 100% like I think it's working like they are going to like the click on the link in my what I'm thinking and they are going to like buy things in this link and basically I don't need even to promote some stuff. I need to just like they just click on the link and buy something because of the link. Buy whatever they want, and I'm gonna get percentage.
Oh, okay.
That's how I understand. AI told me.
So it's an affiliate link.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah. Put it in your link tree. Put it on your social media. You should plug it at the end of all your podcasts. Hey,
Yeah.
like make sure to buy stuff on Amazon and check out my affiliate link and all that other stuff. So that's a good move. But as for me doing it, no, I don't even do it for myself. I don't do it for anybody else either. When people watch my streams, I don't want them to feel like they have to buy anything.
I understand. This is world of shop.
Absolutely. Did you download
And
Google?
but yes, I have on phone. I
Okay.
have.
All right.
But a problem with that is like that episode. I need to be like I need to see him and talk to him with him.
Into your phone with Google Translate and have him speak into his phone with Google Translate, and then just do the podcast that way.
That's but like so we are going to do in a website. Yes, the website is the best.
Okay. Yeah. Probably.
In okay. The problem is like I tried yesterday with my American friend. I was having my headphones and I was having like Google translation, phone and like Google Translator doesn't hear shit. So it's not, it cannot be like user.
No, listen. Do you have your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. You speak Czech, right?
Yes.
Hi, Tony. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I look forward to talking with you on this podcast.
I don't understand what you are doing.
Can you hear this? Can you hear this?
Yes.
Okay, and then on your end, you do the same thing, and you answer in whatever language you have. On your end, it would be Portuguese,
Yes.
and that's how you do it. It's pretty simple.
So like, is that easy? Is that easy? Is that easy?
Why make it more complicated? Yes, it's that easy. You talk into your phone, it will translate from English or Czech into Portuguese. He hears it, and then he answers in Czech or Portuguese. Or Czech or English. I would recommend English because that's going to have the most amount of listeners.
Yeah.
So then you speak into your phone in English, and it will translate into Portuguese. He hears it, and then he translates into Portuguese from Portuguese into English, and he plays it through Google Translate. That's it. It's simple.
But like, yes, that's simple. But like, my vision is I want to be able, like you said, on AI and do like some other languages.
Okay, Restream allows that with a transcript. So once the podcast is done, you take the transcript, all of the things that were spoken, and you translate it into 100 different languages if you want.
But like, if I'm gonna be talking like in camera and I'm gonna have my phone to my mouth to hear that, like to hear him, because otherwise Google cannot hear that. I try. That's not going to be professional. What I mean.
And you don't have the Joe Rogan experience. You're a professional anyway. So you got to recognize that you already have an amateur podcast. So don't think that that's going to look that bad. It actually shows that you're trying to improve. And you need to just very easily, just like I did, speak English into the phone. The phone recognizes that it's English. It translates it to Portuguese. He hears it. And then he speaks into his phone in Portuguese into English. And then you hear it. And you go back and forth. That's it. Keep it simple. And if you think that doesn't look professional, I disagree with you. It's actually a really great way to be able to do real-time translating. Now, if you're like, I want some AI model that real time translates for me. Okay, but you're going to pay money for that. You don't have the money. Do what's free.
Okay. Yeah.
I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
okay,
If you had like a studio and you had lighting and you were all dressed, but your podcast is just like an amateur podcast with a lot of potential, but people expect you to not have the most advanced technology with a transcript at the bottom and all that. They recognize you're going to be using Google Translate. So don't see it as being poor quality or unprofessional. It actually shows an immense amount of professionalism because you want to know what your guest is saying. And that's the easiest way to do it. And people will understand that.
Mhm.
So that's that. So when you connect with the guy from Brazil, you say, look, when we do this interview, you be on your computer, I'll be on my computer. You have your phone near you, I'll have my phone near me. And if he's like, okay, I don't have a computer, okay, fine, just get a friend's phone and we'll have a conversation for 30 minutes or an hour and a half, whatever it is. I'll let you talk about anything you want. I'll ask my questions. And then at the end, I will take the transcript and you can send it to him to make sure it translated okay. I would do that. I think that's a nice thing to do for someone. And then you publish it. And then it's like any other podcast.
So is that easy?
It-
That easy?
It's that easy.
Because yesterday I was like fucked up. Yesterday I was like because I was trying to like to find app like on like I was talking with ChatGPT for like 3 hours. Bro, I was finding shit, bro.
There's a
I
phrase
was
that
like finding about
there's a
like
phrase in English, KISS, kiss. Keep it simple. Keep it stupidly simple. Keep it simple.
that's one thing that's what you are saying. Is yeah. Keep it simple and keep it true. Right? Yeah. Yeah. You have to. I cannot have like the yes, that's right.
You don't have a set.
Yeah.
You don't have lighting. You're not in a suit and tie. You're just doing a podcast from your room. And that's fine. People understand that. They don't care as much about what you look like as opposed to what is being said. And you've got to
That's
think there are a lot of people who are getting your podcast and they're not even seeing you. They're just getting it from Spotify or from
yeah.
iTunes or something.
Or like
So
or Apple.
Apple, exactly.
Yeah.
So they only care about the sound.
That's true. Oh Jesus Christ, you. That's true.
So
So like
we don't.
my mistake was I was like I need to know I limitations and that.
Well, I get what you
Yeah.
were saying. You were just afraid that uh, it wouldn't look professional just with the phone to the face, and also you thought that there was some kind of technology out there that was going to do real time translation for you, 100% correct, and that just it exists, but it costs money, and it's also some processing power on your computer, which you might not. I mean, you've got a nice computer, but the other guy might not. He's in Brazil, so you never know. And we're getting there. We're getting there. ChatGPT is pretty close to being able to do that for free for people, but Google Translate's been doing that for years. So just use what already works. And in the future, you're gonna have a set, and you're gonna have makeup, and you're gonna have the ability to fly people to you or you whatever, and do podcasts So when that happens, you can have real-time translators, or you can have the thing that the United Nations has as a real-time translator in the ear, or you can have real-time as possible. But you're not there yet. You'll be there. I have confidence in you, Tony.
True. That's true. That's yeah. I will do it like yourself because it's the easiest way to do this, and I don't have a choice. So yeah, I don't have a choice. So yeah, I will do it.
Okay.
Definitely.
So do it, and
Okay.
if you have questions, let me know. But we don't really have anything to test. I mean, we just tested it, which is just using
Yeah,
Google
true.
Translate.
But
So
like the last night, I'm gonna be like honest with you. I was like dead ass. I was like not good. Absolutely, because I was thinking it's not going to be good and this.
okay, well, you don't even have to worry. Okay, this guy is just some Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, right?
He is one of the biggest streamers on Brazil.
Okay, that's big. So you got to get a hold of him first. That should be your worry more than anything. Trying to connect with this guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then once you can connect with him, that's when you are going to have the processing on your computer, or him having to read something. He's going to hear it just like you're speaking, basically. It's just going to have a little bit of a delay.
That's true. Like, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, big dog. Best wishes with it. Let me know if you need anything in the meantime.
Yeah, and another thing,
Yes, sir.
maybe next week I will going to have another big win. I'm not sure, but I feeling in my gut I can win the 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 I don't say English, not the podcast, but give me a minute, please.
Take your time.
I can win the discovery of the year, the podcast discovery of the year.
Okay.
Next debate. What?
Okay, that sounds good.
I can I am I don't know for 100% sure, but I feeling in my gut. It's like I'm not to explain.
Okay.
You have to.
Okay,
Yeah.
so here's my question for you. You came in here yesterday all excited to do podcasts. How many podcasts
Yeah.
did you do today?
One.
Good job. With whom?
I need one of them. With the Czech man.
That's great.
He is in the finance.
That's really good. Good job, Tony.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, how many are you going to do tomorrow?
Tomorrow I will gonna use what I have.
Okay, that's okay. But what about
And
what about going on to Kick and getting people to be on your podcast?
I will going to try on the weekend.
Okay.
It can be really good talk with somebody. Yeah, I will definitely do it. And I will gonna need to do stream with you this week.
Okay, big dog.
This week. I will gonna definitely going to need to do that. I was like texting some streamers if I cannot be there like host, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's like we are getting more and more famous.
Little by little, big dog.
Yeah. Like because that the night was so fucked up. I'm not going to like it. So I am happy. It was not happening.
Okay.
Truly. Because I was like fucked up. So I am happy.
Okay, good.
But right now I know what I'm gonna do, so I will do it. So I will go. I need to go.
Excellent.
So thank you so much.
You're welcome, big
Have
dog.
a good interview.
Thank you. God
Good
willing.
interview, and we will speak soon.
Yeah, God willing.
Bye.
Excellent. Take care. Bye, Tony.
Oh my God! Oh, double dildos! Oh my God! It looks like the whiz off. He just bit into the one dildo. Oh! Wow! What a way to end the show. So much better than ending it with Anthony Rowe. How many of you guys have Brent and Nate winning this Mexican drum off? Brisbane zone. Even with the Brisbane zone, he just has his three buddies in the back. Okay. And how many of you have Joel Jimenez winning this? Wow. Who would have guessed? There you go. And still, the Mexican drum-off champion of the world. Honorable mention to Brandon Nate, given Australia's best Mexican drum-off they've ever had. That's the end of the episode, guys. Thank you so much. We love you. If you guys wait in line and behave properly, all in one order, we'll meet all of you on your way out back table in that next room. DC, New York City, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Fun announcements coming up. Jeremiah's headlining Huntington Beach, St. Louis, Kansas City, Chicago, and San Diego. JeremiahWatkins.com for that. He's got their shirts. He's got big day calendars for sale. A new episode of Jeremiah Wonders is out with Louis J. Gomez and a roadcast. Anything else, Jeremiah?
at Jeremiah Stand Up on social media in Australia. This is my first time here, and I absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, their first show in Australia. Another guy's first time in Australia as well. How about another hand for Joel Berg and Joel Jimenez, everyone? Joel's official sponsored Ludwig artist. Anything else, Joel?
Oh, I love you guys. It's great having my dick out all over the world.
One more time for Joel, everybody. And we did it. How about one more time for his first time in Australia, the great Brian Redman, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Fuck yeah, we did it. You guys got the party started. We're excited this week here in Australia. Thanks for being the first.
No one really knows for sure. Other Dick, Elohim, Chaim, but this is the Missouri. That's why we've been doing this bit for 173 days. Wild shit. Did you think you'd be doing 173 days? Uh-huh. You really did? Yeah, I had confidence in the bitch for the rest of my life. Why? $37.61 creation of the birth of Adam and Eve. Chava. 36:31 130 Seth, son of Adam, was born. 35:26 235 Enosh, son of Seth, was born. 34:36 325 Kenan, son of Eve. 33:66 395 Mahalalel, son of Kenan, was born. 33:01 460 Yod, son of Mahalalel, was born. 31:39 622 Chanuk, son of Yod, was born. 30:74 687 Methuselah, son of Chanuk, was born. 28:87 874 Lamech 2, son of Methuselah, was born. 28:31 930 Adam died. How did he die? No one knows. Really? No. How do you think he died? He got run over by a reindeer. Really? Yeah. Eve was blah 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 blah, and he's just like, dog, I'm done. Really? That's what happened? It could have been. How do you know? No one knows. Are you sure no one knows? Dog, if this isn't my fucking version, I'm gonna be pissed. Coffee, Kabbalah, coffee.
I'm Dr. Justin Sledge, and welcome to Esoterica, where we explore the arcane in history, philosophy, and religion. One of the most difficult aspects when starting to study Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah is getting a handle on just how those ideas developed over time. It's tempting to think that, for instance, Kabbalah always existed in the form that we have it, or that Kabbalah is just one thing at all. Of course, neither of these positions is really tenable. Such notions developed greatly through the ages and are still developing. And there are now, and there have always been, numerous mutually exclusive schools of Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. This class is meant to serve as an introduction to Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah.
Folks, this is the third system. Certain personality, folks.
Complex development from the prophets of ancient Israel and to the rise of modern Hasidism in the 18th century. Of course, this series isn't meant to be exhaustive by any means, but only should serve as a springboard for deeper study and reflection, and hopefully it will also enable you to situate developments in Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah in their historical and cultural context, and hopefully embolden you to dive into the primary texts, which are admittedly as sublime as they are obscure. Let me express my gratitude to Congregation Tia for allowing me to use these lectures to reach a larger audience here on Esoterica. If you want, you can find the entire series under the playlist Entering the Dark, Introduction to Jewish Mysticism and Kabbalah. I'll be uploading them over the next few weeks, or if you find these episodes after autumn of 2021, and you want to watch the entire series, you can find them in that playlist. Interesting, I've had esotericism, and perhaps consider supporting the production of free academic and scholarly topics in occultism, hermetic philosophy, by joining my Patreon or perhaps as a one-time donation. You can find those links below, and I really appreciate your participation. Now, let's enter the garden of Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. All right, everybody. I really can't believe I'm saying this, but after 13 sessions, we are now on session 14 of this what was supposed to be an exploration of Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. And of course, 14 sessions is still too few. I can basically keep teaching this class one day a week for the rest of my life. Still not exhaust all of that there are to say about Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. And I'll say very honest, this last session is going to in some ways be the thinnest, but this is where my expertise really runs out, and I'll be very frank about that. It's just honestly the case that my expertise, I hit a wall, and my wall really is really with Hasidism. I don't know nearly as much about Hasidism as I probably should. I'm still learning about Hasidism, and everything from roughly the 18th to the 21st century is where my gap is. Everyone has gaps in their knowledge. It's important to acknowledge the gaps in our knowledge, not pretend we know things we don't. And it's definitely from Hasidism forward that that's the real gap in my knowledge. Not that I don't know anything, but there are certainly people out there who know a lot more than I do. In fact, I just invited a good friend of mine to do some talks, maybe at least a talk at Congregation about Hasidism, because I really do feel like I gave it short shrift. There's a lot more attention, a lot more deep attention than I gave it. And so I reached out to a good friend of mine who knows a lot about Hasidism to maybe do a lunch and learn. So we'll see if that works out. But at any rate, welcome to the I would say welcome to the end. It's not the end. It's welcome to the ellipsis, the dot. Because, of course, Kabbalah is not going to go away anytime soon. Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah is doing actually a lot better now in the early part of the 21st century than it was doing in the middle of the 20th century. In the middle of the 20th century, I would say that Kabbalah, in some ways, was at death's door, and it's doing much better now. So, in a substantial way, we're not saying goodbye to Hasidism or goodbye to Kabbalah. Rather, we're saying dot. It's going to continue to grow and change. And I've heard really cool and exciting things about developments in the radio world, where we're in sort of new and dynamic Kabbalistic thought. And if we do end up moving to digital Well, as we marked last time, the sort of post-Shabbatai, it's actually more sophisticated in many ways than the Shabbatai world. The Shabbatai world is marked by a relatively thin understanding of Kabbalah, really. And that's part of why Shabbatai was successful, is that people really didn't understand what was going on. They weren't really versed in Kabbalah. And when you read something of a very technical nature, you can be overwhelmed by it and very convinced by things that simply aren't really true or deep. They can sound deep, but in fact they're not. And I think that's true of a lot of things that went on in the Shabbati movement. It sounded Kabbalistic and had a Kabbalistic veneer, but if you scratch the surface even a bit, you realize that the kind of reasoning that justified the stuff that went on with Shabbatai and Frank was, I think, pretty facile. And I think that once people actually scratch the surface of it and realize that this is just, gold gilding, they abandoned it pretty quickly. So the years after Shabbatai Tzvi's apostasy and after the whole business, what you get is a kind of conservative backlash in the world of Kabbalah, and that shouldn't be surprising. This whole Shabbatai business was a complete disaster. And so what ends up happening is it's kind of a closing of the ranks. So in the Kabbalistic world, after this, what people end up doing is returning to the Kabbalah much like it was in the period before Shabbatai, where things were a bit more closed off, a bit more guarded, a bit more silent, which I think is probably not always for the worst. And so the developments within Kabbalah, in fact, the developments in Kabbalah since then have been relatively conservative, which is to say, we don't see major developments outside of Luria and Kabbalah. There's never really been a significant post-Luria and Kabbalah. It's at some point become commentary footnotes to Isaac Luria. And so that relatively conservative moment, that relatively conservative movement marks Kabbalah from about the mid-17th century all the way until now. And as we talked about last time, two major Kabbalistic schools developed in the aftermath of everything. One of those in Jerusalem, led by the Mizrahi rabbi Sharabi, and another in Brody in Poland. And those two will become the central schools, so to speak, of Kabbalah, the big schools, in the period after that. But of course, it's what Kabbalah also developed very highly technical Kabbalah in Kurdistan, in Morocco, and Marrakesh was a huge Kabbalistic center. So Kabbalah continued to develop in the aftermath of the Shabbatai Tzvi business, especially in the Sephardic world, without really a hitch. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that the Sephardi world was much more stable than the Ashkenazic world at that time in terms of social stability and Jewish education. Again, I think I mentioned this several times ago, that a lot of the people that were really seduced by the Shabbatian movement were people who had only recently really come back to Judaism. And so they don't really anchored in Judaism in a very profound way, in a way that, for instance, the communities at Marrakesh, the communities in Baghdad, they've been there for 1,000 years, easily 1,000 years. And so when they looked at the whole Shabbatai Tzvi thing, they were like, no. So because they had a much deeper education, so the Sephardi world was a bit less affected by the whole thing. And so it's not surprising that in Jerusalem, who never accepted the whole Shabbatian business to begin with, they excommunicated him as soon as they could, that the one of the largest Kabbalistics in the aftermath of all of it will develop. As I mentioned last time, the two Kabbalistic schools take very different directions. The school, Beidel in Jerusalem, is going to take the form of really intense concentration or kavanah during prayer. And that school, again, will last basically until 1969, when the last adherent of that school dies, which is amazing how long the school lasted for hundreds of years, although very tightly guarded, very disciple-student oriented. And of course, the other is a Klois in Poland, and that is going to be largely influenced by Polish and Lithuanian Kabbalah and Jewry. And Polish and Lithuanian Kabbalah is going to be mostly remarked by its intense intellectual Kabbalistic speculation. And so out of that world is going to flow a mountain of highly intellectualized Kabbalistic systems that are going to basically try to do the work of systematizing Luria and Kabbalah, especially vis-a-vis the old quarter Baron system, which I prefer. This period also saw, as I talked about last time, the rise of Hasidism. Hasidism is probably the most important, it's the most important movement in Judaism, probably 100 years, and Hasidism went on to spawn an entirely new system of Judaism, a new system of social relations, a new system of customs, a new system of dress, all kinds of things that come out of the Hasidic world, a whole new style of song, the nicotine you are very familiar with, come out of the Hasidic world. And so it's from that world where we have a focus on extreme piety, but also piety that is meant to find the divine the everyday. It's a piety in which God is lurking all about you, but you can't see God. The divine is everywhere. I think of the line from the Quran, which I can easily imagine a Hasidic Rebbe having written, where the Quran says that Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein. That image in the Quran has always struck me as incredibly evocative. And I easily imagine someone like Nachman of Breslov having written something just like that. So the idea that the divine is that close to you, the obstacle is just you. You and your ego are fundamentally you and your lusts and your desires. It's your desire to get rich or to have fame or to be loved by someone or whatever. These things that get in the way of your relationship with the divine for the Hasidic movement is right there. You just have to tool of erasing the barriers between you and the divine, and it's in the erasure of those barriers that one can experience the divine in the everyday, including even in the movements of one's physical body, the sound of a bird. Some of the Rebbe's were even alleged to be able to understand the language of the birds. They would listen to birds sing, and they said they're singing, they're having theological debates, that the Rebbe's could understand the Fegelsprache, and that the Fegelsprache allowed them to hear the debates among the rabbis and the birds, which I always found a beautiful idea of sitting in the forest, listening to the birds, rather than just hearing like the rest of us, normie people that all we hear is birds. The Rebbe's, they don't hear birds, they hear the debates among the birds about God. And so I always found that to be a very beautiful example of Hasidism, where it's not just, you're not just hearing bird sounds, you're hearing theological debates among the animal world. So again, according to the Hasidic idea, it's a deep desire to experience the divine act of life, and to the Vegas is the clinging to God, and you cling to God, and the way that you do this, at some level, by cultivating a relationship with shamanic character in the Hasidic world. This is the Rebbe, or sometimes they're Tzaddikim, they're these righteous people who have a unique relationship with God. They're intensely holy. And of course, these Rebbe's go on to set up various courts, and those courts really operate a bit like royalty. They still do operate a bit like royalty even to this day. And so you have a loyalty to the Rebbe, to your Rebbe. And Lusasik encounters the divine primarily through the Rebbe, and it's in that Rebbe Chassid relationship that Chassidism really grows up into becoming the sort of court-like spirituality that it is today. We'll talk a little bit about how that's gotten a little stranger, especially with the Lubavitch movement, which I forgot to mention much in a later slide, which I'm going to talk about that in a little bit as well. But we'll see how that develops. As we stopped last time, the cliffhanger from last time was that I think that no one really realized in the aftermath of the whole Shabbat, as much as the Shabbat business was a disaster, no one really saw what was happening in the background that was a bigger deal. The same year that Shabbat converted to Islam and apostatized in 1666, and I'm sure as many folks in the room know, 1666 is a dynamite year in the history of science. It's the year that Isaac Newton discovered or invented calculus. Of course, he discovered and invented at the same time as Leibniz. There was a bitter debate about that. It's also the same year that Newton discovered the fundamental nature of light, and also he basically figured out Newtonian physics as we know them now. And he published all that in 1666. This is called the Year of Miracles. So at the same time that Newton was figuring all that out, inventing calculus and all this stuff, that's the year Shabbat converts to Islam. So it's difficult. I know that for many people, and for me too, when I think about Shabbat's conversion, I think of it as a medieval thing. It's not something that happened a long, long time ago. And I think of somehow Newton not having happened a long, long time ago. Newton feels very modern. It feels like I could just, we could play chess with somebody like Star Trek. And they have the same time. They happen the exact same year. And so what's coming down the pike, and what I think the Jewish world did not see in the aftermath of this entire Shabbat business, was the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment is happening all around the Jewish world, in France, and in North America, and in England, and in Holland, and Germany. The Enlightenment was developed a huge, completely new worldview that was dynamically breaking from what had come before, with its emphasis on rationality, its emphasis on experimental science, its emphasis on extreme logic. And so we begin to get philosophers like Descartes, like Spinoza. Spinoza's philosophy rejects that God is separate from nature. It's just nature. And nature is God and God is nature. The same thing. We're getting the mechanistic philosophers, the philosophers that believe that all of nature is like a giant machine. If you study it carefully, you can understand how it works. And if you understand how it works, you can predict it, and therefore you can make it do things for you. This incredibly mechanistic philosophy, which is in many ways really wonderful, and in many ways I think like that. Inside the Jewish world, they never saw the doorstep. What I really mean is Napoleon showed up. What Hegel called the world spirit on horseback. Napoleon shows up in Central Europe and Eastern Europe. Remember, he marched all the way to Russia. So everywhere Napoleon went, recall, he brought with him these Enlightenment ideas. His army was a sort of enlightened army, as much as armies are ever enlightened. And Napoleon brought with him the metric system. He brought with him French Revolutionary ideas. He brought with him the idea that if you're a citizen of a country, you should have equal protection under the law. You should never be. There should never be second-class citizens. Either you're a citoyen or you're not. And if you are a citoyen, you have the rights and privileges of everyone else that is protected by the rational law. And of course, I'm not saying Napoleon was perfect or anything like that, but he was a big enough deal that Hegel thought at some level he represented the very movement of Geist, the very movement of God, in the realization of Godness in the world. And of course, Hegel got disappointed with him later, but made a big impression on the young Hegel. And so this is at the same time that the Hasidic movement is taking off. These two movements come into conflict, that are coming into contact with each other. There's going to be a break-off in the Jewish world where some Jews are going to become very attracted to Enlightenment values, and they're going to Enlightenment values into the Jewish world. And that is called the Haskalah, the Enlightenment. And I think for almost everyone here in this class, and almost probably everyone hearing my voice, all of us are pretty enticed at some level by Enlightenment ideas. The idea of equal protection under the law, you can't be just killed because of what you believe in, that we have a rational system of weights and measures, that's what we do in this country, but most countries in the world, that the scientific, the very fact that I'm talking to you through this machine is proof of the success of the Enlightenment. So for many Jews, the Enlightenment was a solution to so many problems in the Jewish world, both in terms of a superstitious world ruled by elite dynastic rulers who divine the will of God, and who knows how they figure these things out. They believe in werewolves and vampires, and they believe in all this stuff and Kabbalah. Many Jews were very disenfranchised with that. And they did. In fact, for the Jewish folks here, I imagine for many of the Jewish folks in this class, you are the children of the great-great-great-grandchildren of the masculine, of the Enlightenment folks. Because the Enlightenment was very, very successful, for better and for worse. So what ends up happening is that this new kind of rational Judaism, the integration of Enlightenment values with Judaism became incredibly polarizing. We also, speaking again for the Jewish folks in the room, we live in an incredibly easy world compared to our ancestors, because in many ways we can adapt both worlds. We can be religious, and we can be in the Enlightenment somehow. Well, there was no middle ground in the 18th century. Either you jumped ship and you joined the Enlightenment camp, or you stayed behind in the shtetl and you stayed in the world of the pre-Enlightenment, or the traditional world, that's what I can say. And so in the traditional world, they realized how much a threat this was. They were terrified of this, and they doubled down on the traditional aspects of the world. And so in many ways, both Enlightenment Judaism and Haredi Judaism, that is to say the black hat, ultra-Orthodox Judaism that we recognize now, are both actually creations of the Enlightenment. So I know that sometimes Haredi folks like to pretend as if they're the legitimate continuers and inheritors of of a discrete, continuous line of Judaism reaching all the way back to Moses. If you ask them, Moses wore a black hat and spoke Yiddish. But I guarantee you he didn't. The reality of the modern Judaism is at some level, all of it is a response to the Haskalah. It's all a response. Either you double down on tradition and you retreat it into the world of the dynastic world, of the Hasidic world or the Litvish world, or you drifted off into the secular world and you tried to make it go at either becoming assimilated or you tried to balance out both. An assimilation was the largest, the earliest biggest movement. So what we have here basically is a choice between a some level of assimilation, right? As much as those countries that allow you to assimilate, whether it's the French and the Germans, and as you know from the terrifying history of how this will go, it will fail. Assimilation ultimately was a failed strategy. It did not protect Jews in the end. And neither did God, by the way. It wasn't like majority people were protected when the first Panthers rolled in. And so what we have is a dualistic, a polarized world by the 1700s in which there are Haskalah Jews and then there are traditional Jews. And the world becomes polarized, becomes racist, polarized. Now, that's not to say that Kabbalah stops. If all the kinds of things that have not stopped the Kabbalah hadn't stopped them, whether it was the Crusades or the Shabbat Tzvi event or whatever pogroms would stop the Kabbalah, well, this whole Enlightenment thing didn't stop it either. And so many of the traditional centers of Judaism in the medieval or in the early modern world, they continued to produce Kabbalah as if nothing was going on. For them, they may have not even known. And so, especially in the Hasidic world, there's a huge outpouring of literature. This is the time period where the folks in the Chabad movement, I'm sure many back with, they began variously developing their movement. So it's worth pointing out that the Chabad movement becomes sort of the intellectual center in many ways of the Hasidic movement. They become much more interested in the world of the mind and the world of the intellect as opposed to just the world of the emotion. And so the Chabad movement actually becomes much more of a rigorous system of Hasidic philosophy as opposed to just songs and being happy or whatever. So this is a period of people like Rebbe Nachman of Breslov, which I imagine most folks have heard of. Nachman of Breslov is probably one of the most famous Rebbes of this time period. He's of course known for his deep spiritual reflections and his existential torment that he experiences. He was a person of great highs and great lows. I guess most historical people who we end up remembering are kind of manic depressive in this way, and so Rebbe Nachman is known for this extreme joy, extreme sorrow he was feeling, and ultimately he's going to give rise to the Neo-Hasidic movement, which we'll talk about in a minute, but also the Nanach movement, which I imagine if you've ever spent time in Israel, you will at some point encounter some Nanach guys which tend to smell as pious as they are. They wear the knit cap with Nanach written on it. They listen to techno music and dance around. They're really pious to a fault, something. So those guys are out there and they're a big deal in the Neo-Hasidic world. Of course, also at this time period, probably one of the most important modern Jewish philosophers and mystics is also writing. This is a Ramchal, Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, probably the greatest traditional Jewish mind of the early modern period. And Luzzatto wrote a mountain of stuff. It's really, I was looking over some of it today and I was like, my God, this guy wrote 50 books. I've probably read one or two of them. He wrote 50-something books. It's an enormously huge output. But the Ramchal is known as a young man for having had a spiritual experience where he had a magi, or a spiritual teacher, begins all kinds of spiritual things. He was relatively young when this happened, and you can imagine that in the aftermath of the Shabbat Tzvi business, no one wanted to hear about anyone talking to spirits anymore. And so he kind of got kicked out of Italy, kind of got expelled from Italy, and this led him on a journey through Europe. And in his journey through Europe, he ended up writing, like I said, a ton of stuff. His two most famous books are Derech Hashem, The Way of the Lord. Derech Hashem is probably the most systematic, collection or systematization of Judaism that incorporates both philosophical issues and Kabbalah into one system. Derech Hashem is a really, really great book. You can get it in Hebrew and English if you want to study it. It's a fantastic text that really does the work of combining the sort of philosophy of the day. Although the philosophy of that point is a little updated, but it's still a very amazing book. His other major book is a book on ethics, Masilah Yesharim, which is also just really, really great to read, and also you can get it in English too. And these books, both of these books have gone to become basically classics in the Orthodox. There's even study sessions, and they study these books over and over and over again all through the year. So Derech Hashem and Masilah Yesharim are classics of Judaism. They become classics of Judaism, and again, they incorporate Kabbalistic and non-Kabbalistic philosophical elements in one text. Again, Chaim Luzzatto is probably say he's the most important rabbi in this period. Probably the most important rabbi. And so it's a very, very important fact. Also, over in Eastern Europe, they're also continuing to do classical Kabbalah. A lot of what's happening at this point in the Kabbalistic texts is a lot of systematization texts, which are they're trying, again, to systematize the Lurianic system. But also there are a lot of encyclopedic texts where they're just going through and trying to list things, describe what things are. One of the problems that comes along with more technical Kabbalah is that the Hebrew language just isn't actually that good at doing philosophy. There are a lot of technical reasons why this is. German is a far better language for doing philosophy, even than English. And Hebrew comes to philosophy. It's also a bit of a clumsy language when it comes to doing Kabbalah, ironically enough. People are very, very confused. And a lot of what happens during this time period is the encyclopedia of Kabbalah. And one of the more famous encyclopedias that gets written at this time is one of the books I would love to see translated. I have it downstairs, but I can read it. And, they have translating it. It's beyond me. But it's the Sefer Karnaim. Sefer Karnaim is an encyclopedia of the Klipot. The Klipot, as you may remember, are the shards left over in the process of creating the world. And those shards that are left over are actually demonic. Those are the demons that sort of haunt the Lurianic world. And it's an encyclopedia of all the demons. And so we actually get a systematic account of the evil detritus left over from the creation of the world here in the 18th, 19th centuries in the Sefer Karnaim, which is a fabulous and interesting text. You can read it online for free. Of course, you have to read it in Hebrew, the translation. Now, as you probably also know, in all of this 19th century, the amount of anti-Semitism doesn't go away. Anti-Semitism has always been there in Europe. There's always been European anti-Semitism. Well, the anti-Semitism gets a new added dimension. As you might imagine, as Jews become more and more part of secular civil society, there's also anti-Semitism that emerges at the level of discrimination of Jews in secular civil society. Of course, the most famous and infamous example of this is the Dreyfus Affair in the 19th century in France. And so, with this, it was an uptick in anti-Semitism and the ongoing reality of anti-Semitism. There's sort of three distinct ideas, basically, about what to do about it. One idea is the traditional idea: double down on being pious, and God will protect you. It's going to go in theory for many thousands of years, but that theory no one's given up on yet. So one is double down on being pious, God will protect you. The other theory is that at some level, you just need to get out of Europe. Europe is just a death trap. We've been living in Europe now for 1,000 years. 1,000 years is just Rome after crusade, after blood libel, after witch hunt, after whatever. It's just that the Europeans are never going to accept us, and at some level, eventually they're going to try to kill us all. It's just a matter of time. It turns out they were right. So what do? You leave. You leave Europe. You pack your bags and you leave Europe. And in the mid-19th century, that idea takes the form of secular Zionism. This is where Haskalah Jews, enlightened Jews, decide as a group that the situation in Europe is basically untenable and we need to leave. And this is the emergence, of course, of very, very nascent Zionism. Now, it's two things that are worth noting here about really early Zionism is that it was entirely a secular movement at first. In fact, it didn't really get to have much religious backing until the mid-20th century, right? And so Zionism was a secular, largely socialist movement, although not all of it was socialist, not all of it was socialist in the way we recognize it now. And that movement, while it did accept some messianic themes, and it was sort of, apocalyptic in its narrative and its about the world, it wasn't really informed Kabbalah. But I think if you read a lot of the early Zionists, you will see a lot of the exile redemption language. You will see a lot of language that is coming in from the Kabbalah, although I think it's mostly through social osmosis, right? So let me make that more clear, put a finer point on it. The Zionist movement early on was never influenced by Kabbalah directly, although I think that there is some messianic and some Kabbalistic ideas that have reached into Zionism, mostly because of sort of social osmosis, because of Jews, and they've been raised on a diet of Kabbalah and Torah. So that's one part of it. The other part of it with the Zionist movement is that, from a religious perspective, it was completely remote. It was completely an Avera. The religious world rejected Zionism very early on. And when I say the religious world rejected Zionism, most of the religious world still rejects Zionism. It still says Zionism is a toxic ideology that is harmful to Palestinians, and it is irreligious. It's blasphemous. It's straight up heresy. And so this early, and even beginning of the formula, they rejected Zionism in two major conferences. So even at the very far progressive end of the Jewish world, Zionism was very unpopular, at least to start. And it remains unpopular now, at least in the Sardi world. Folks have been watching the very wonderful show Shtisel, the soap opera, basically. You'll know in Shtisel, right, every time that they bring the Zionist up, Shulam's brother always says, he refers to the Zionism, he refers to Zionism. The evil people. He always called them the evil people. And so this is a thing that developed early on in the response to Zionism. So it never became religious until much later. In fact, I would say that in many ways it wasn't until Ralph Cook, who we'll talk about in a minute, and it's certain it wasn't until I think after the idea for that in a big way you get religious Zionism when you recognize it. I think it's a relatively minority movement. The Kabbalah, of course, continues to develop, right? It's not like the Kabbalah stops. Slide. Oh yes, this is a mistake in the slide, but there's an extra thing down here I want to talk about. This I must have mucked this slide up. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk about here is that in the 19th century, what also happened in the non-Jewish world is there's sometimes what is referred to as the occult revival. The occult revival was a re-interest in occult sciences, alchemy, sort of a romantic interest in this stuff. And what you get are people like Ebenezer Sibley and Barrett, who are people that published the Magus. You have a bunch of people really interested in the occult again, and this sort of occult revival that occurred primarily in the 19th century also incorporates some older elements of Christian Kabbalah, and they ultimately develop a new form of Kabbalah out of Christian Kabbalah that gets referred to as the Hermetic Kabbalah. And this is a completely non-Jewish occult-centered version of the Kabbalah, primarily. So we have elements of Freemasonry being combined, elements of Renaissance, and that being fused together with some elements of Kabbalah, and that develops what we now refer to as the Hermetic Kabbalah, which is another third branch of Kabbalah that is developed. There's, of course, Jewish Kabbalah with a K, there is Christian Kabbalah with a C, and now this develops eventually in the early 19th century, 20th century, into Hermetic Kabbalah with a Q. And these forms of Kabbalah continue into occult practice all the way to this day. So again, in the 19th century, Kabbalah undergoes another mutation, although not a Jewish mutation, but primarily in the non-Jewish world, primarily in England, where this occult revival will take place. And so the Hermetic Kabbalah is out there and it's very popular. There's a whole big world of people whose spirituality is wrapped up with the very sophisticated, very complicated system of what's typically referred to as. So as I mentioned, right, just a minute ago, one of the things that, one of the other strategies, right, so we have one strategy, double down being traditional. The other strategy is leave, go to Palestine or wherever. And the other strategy that I mentioned a minute ago was a very strategy, perhaps one of the more difficult. I think that the people who did the job of letting get written off as traitors or something, I think it's really unfortunate when we talk about that generation of folks. But assimilation was a really difficult task of trying to maintain two things at once. It was trying to maintain being Jewish and also trying to maintain your identity in a world that rejected you. Trying to be German and be Jewish, whatever German Jew meant. And the problem was that the Orthodox world hated you because they thought it was a sellout, and the Germans never really accepted you either. And you could do anything, almost, right? I think of people like Husserl. Husserl was the great German philosopher whose son fought in World War I and still got fired when the Nazis took over. They never could become Jewish enough. In fact, even for the anti-Semites, for the Nazis, the more the Jews assimilated, the more dangerous they were. They were on you. And so something about this, that the strategy of assimilation was always going to get some level of losing game. But what ends up happening, at least in the academic world, is that, or at least in the religious world, rather, I should say, is that Judaism basically come to look like Lutheranism. They had to make a Judaism that looked as much like the Lutheranism of the 19th and 20th century as possible. And that movement became the Reform movement, right? Ethical monotheism. And if you look at the Lutheran movement and the early Reform movement, it is amazing how similar they are. Even the choir, it's just like the organs and stuff, right? If you've ever been to a classical Reform synagogue, the organs and the choir, and they even moved Shabbat to Sunday mornings and all kinds of stuff. They were desperately trying to fit in. And again, at one level, one way of looking at that is they're trying to sell out. But again, I think that the more that you accuse them of that, you need to walk a mile in their shoes and understand how devastating the reality of anti-Semitism was at that time and how awful it could get. And at the same time, I admire them. I admire the courage it takes to try to figure out a way of being German and Jewish, being French and Jewish in a world. I think it's very heroic and a very difficult path to march. On the academic front, part of what had to happen to justify the viability of Judaism is to justify it to the world of the theologians. And that's the theologians largely of Lutheran theology in the mid and late 19th century, which, as you probably imagine, as you may know even, German scholarship at this time was some of the most amazing scholarship in the world when it comes to the Bible. This is a time period where critical source theory was being developed. This is a time where the Bible is being systematically studied, scientifically studied for the first time. This is where Hebrew is really getting into the manuscripts of these things. It's really a time period of enormous erudition. In fact, I would say the German biblical scholarship of 10 years probably produced more erudite scholarship than 30 years of what we do. It's amazing. These guys, and they just knew 15 languages. They just did. That's how they worked. They didn't have the whole Bible. They just had chunks of it. The scholarship was very driven by pietist, very careful scholarship. And so what's emerging at the same time is the attitude to do the same thing in Judaism. And the attitude to do the same thing in Judaism was largely spearheaded by a group of Jewish Haskalah scholars. This movement became known as the Wissenschaft movement. And Roz, I beg your forgiveness if I mispronounce my German stuff as I go. So the Wissenschaft movement, the scientific study of Jewish books, was a movement in the academic Jewish world to study Jewish literature using all the modern tools at that time of German scholarship study religious literature. And they had to make a decision about what they studied, because what they studied and what they published basically represented Judaism to the outside academic world. So, what did they study? What did they publish? Well, Talmud. They focused their energy on Talmud. Why? Because the Talmud, for one, is a highly systematic, highly argumentative book based on logic. They can argue that Judaism is irrational because the Talmud is rational. The Talmud is a book of arguments driven by logic, and therefore Judaism is logical. Right? So we have the ethical components of the Hebrew Bible, and we have the logical components of the Talmud, and therefore Judaism is respectable because it's a paragon of logic. Well, guess what isn't paragonological? Kabbalah. So, what did the Wissenschaft movement do? Ignored it. Basically pretended that it wasn't there. Why? Because it was embarrassing. It was superstition. It was occultism. It was nonsense, made up, fraudulent stuff. For them, for the Wissenschaft movement, Kabbalah was an embarrassment to be put back in the darkness of the Middle Ages, because it made Jews look crazy. If you've been listening to some of the stuff I've been saying over the past 14 weeks and thinking to yourself, God, that sounds nuts. Well, it does sound nuts. And can you imagine a bunch of Jewish scholars presenting that to a bunch of erudite Lutheran scholars being like, yes, Jews, we believe that. What? That's not going to fly, right? It's going to make them hate you. It's going to reinforce every negative stereotype about the Jews. The Jews are irrational, they're driven by superstition, they believe in nonsense. The Wissenschaft movement had to make a decision, and the decision was not Kabbalah, Talmud. And so early on, Kabbalistic literature was largely put on the back burner, to put it politely. And as you might know, at the same time this is happening, this is also the same time that all of the movements in Judaism are beginning to form. The Reform movement, the Conservative movement, the Masorti movement, the Reconstructionist movement begins in the early 20th century. All of the movements, even modern Orthodox Judaism, all of the movements in movement Judaism in the non-traditional Jewish world, all of them look at some level to the Wissenschaft movement, and they base their Judaism at some level on the Judaism being pumped out by places like JTS, by places like German Scholarship, by places like Cincinnati. Why? Because it's embarrassing. It wants to look like crazy people. So the Kabbalah is told for 2.5 to 3 generations by scholars, completely sidelined. And it's sidelined at a decisive moment in Jewish history. What is that decisive moment? The emergence of the movements. So if you grew up in a movement, the Reform movement, the Conservative movement, if you grew up in any of the movements, their scholars were simply not being trained on Kabbalah. And because they weren't being trained on it, they couldn't teach it. And because they didn't teach it, it was abandoned. This is the reason why, for folks who grew up, especially for folks who are a bit older than me, if you grew up in the movement Judaism world, you never heard about Kabbalah. There's a reason why. Because the rabbis you had never learned about it. And that's because the generation before them never learned about it, and the generation before them made a decision not to learn about it. And that's what happened. Effectively, Kabbalah becomes decanonized by the modern Jews. Modern Judaism basically became the Zohar, Sefer Yetzirah, all the literature we've talked about basically goes back on the shelf. And what comes back is Talmud, if you're lucky, but mostly Tanakh. That's the reason why you'll never really see in the movements until recently studies of Kabbalah, studies of Talmud, even Talmud. I mean, for folks who here who grew up in the movement world, how often did you all study Talmud? How often was Talmud something that you would be encouraged to study or heard about much? I see heads shaking. Yeah, even Talmud, right? Even Talmud was sidelined. You can imagine Talmud sidelined, then surely Zohar could be sidelined. So that's one part of the story. A huge part of the story is that Kabbalah didn't go away. They still did Kabbalah, study Kabbalah in the traditional world. It's in the progressive world that it's expanded. It was decanonized in our world. And it's only now lifting back into canonization. I think it needs to be recanonized quicker than that. Of course, the other thing that happens, and this is time, is in the mid-20th century, and there's no way to avoid the elephant in the room, is of course the Holocaust. The Holocaust devastated, obviously, European Jewry, but in terms of Kabbalah, it really devastated the Hasidic world. And the reason why it devastated the Hasidic world, as you might imagine, is the Hasidic Jews live basically in these various tight-knit social networks. They are distinctively dressed. They look very Jewish. They have payas. They dress like Jews. Targeting them was the easiest thing in the world. They all live in the same shtetls and kettos. So liquidating them, killing them, putting them on these cattle farms was very, very easy for the Nazis. So the Hasidic world was incredibly destroyed in the Holocaust. I think, unfortunately, and Roz would be obviously the better expert of this than I would be, that the Hasidic world suffered apocalyptic levels of devastation in the Holocaust, just because they were basically sitting ducks. And also their theology was in their belief. So many of them, because they rejected Zionism, did not try to flee to Palestine. Religiously were put to flee to Palestine because they were also tied to the Rebbe. They also didn't want to individually leave. They were tied inflatedly. And lasted right. They looked the part. When the Einstein movement moves in, they're there. They're living in that shtetl. And they're there with that Rebbe. And it doesn't take but an afternoon of a really blackout drunk group of Einstein to do the deed to basically eliminate an entire Hasidic dynasty. And Chas v'shalom, that happened. It happened over and over and over again in Eastern Europe. Especially Hungary was especially hit. I think 1 in 4 Samar people were killed or something like that. In the Holocaust, it's just a devastating apocalyptic story. And as you know, the only people keeping the light on at this time, in many ways, for Kabbalah are the Hasidic people. It's the people in Eastern Europe, it's the traditional people. They're the ones keeping the lights on. And with their execution by the beasts that were the Nazis, the light goes out. The light went out. And it was a devastating blow to Kabbalah. Now, brothers and sisters, Sephardic folks, they were still doing Kabbalah in Morocco. They were still doing Kabbalah over in Baghdad. Still doing Kabbalah in Northern Africa. So it wasn't like that the devastating blow that was dealt to European Jews meant the end of Kabbalah. But it is just important to say that the Hasidic movement and the European Jewry was a very important center of the development of Kabbalah, and the Holocaust uniquely and profoundly destroyed some elements of that continuity. Luckily, they did survive. Many of them survived, and they would regroup. Some of them in America. And in fact, the 2 largest groups, Samar would eventually, the Samar Rebbe, Teitelbaum eventually made his way out even before the war, or in the middle of the war, and the Lubavitch Rebbe also made it out as well, and they refounded their Hasidic dynasties in Brooklyn, Holy Land, real Holy Land, which is Brooklyn. So Borough Park and Crown Heights, respectively, can go visit the Holy Land. It's just right over there in Brooklyn. You folks know this, right? Israel is just a borough of Brooklyn. So the real Holy Land is over there, just around Coney Island. So the rebound, folks, the rebound. How does this all rebound? We have the Holocaust, we have the Haskalah, we have the Shasta student movement. How did this rebound? Well, it rebounded in a couple different ways. The rebound in many ways began with a young maverick philologist. People forget that Gerhard Scholem, also people forget that he was Gerhard Scholem. He got Gershomized later when he made Aliyah, but Gerhard Scholem was a young maverick philologist who studied language. That's the reason why his scholarship is so top-notch. You can read everything in the original language. And Scholem made the crazy argument that Kabbalah deserved to be academically studied. It just deserves academic. It's part of Jewish history. We need to study it. And so in the 1920s, Gerhard would do all the heavy lifting of reading basically every single Kabbalistic book he could get his hands on in the archives. Every single one. And being the good German scholar that he was, he did that. And unlike the Bishop, the student movement that rejected the importance of Kabbalah convincingly that there's simply what you couldn't do. You couldn't imagine Judaism without it. Judaism was just as important, or Kabbalah was just as important to Judaism as Talmud, as anything else. So Scholem argued over the time that Kabbalah had to be reintegrated both academically and historically into the history and thinking about what Judaism was. And this was by no means easy, folks. When Scholem, who was already an established scholar at the time, was invited to speak at JTS, he was a lecturer at JTS at the Jewish Theological Seminary there in New York. When he was allowed to speak, the justification for him being able to speak was that, look, the Kabbalah is nonsense, right? Kabbalah is Narishkeit. Kabbalah is nonsense, but, right? Narishkeit is Narishkeit. The Geschichte des Narishkeit is Wissenschaft, right? Nonsense is nonsense, but the history of nonsense is science. So Kabbalah is nonsense, but the history of Kabbalah is science. It's worth studying as historical information, but God forbid anyone be a Kabbalist. That's ridiculous. That, by the way, was coming from the most famous most famous progressive Talmud scholar in 20th century history, Saul Lieberman, probably one of the most important Talmud scholars of the early 20th century, the Talmud professor at JTS. Basically invented modern sort of quasi-secular Talmud education, Saul Lieberman. That's how Scholem was introduced. Can you imagine being introduced at the JTS by basically saying, yeah, what you study is nonsense, but because you study it as history, that's something we used to do, it's legitimate. If God forbid anyone actually be a Kabbalist, that's completely crazy. So Scholem really had to walk an uphill battle. He fought an uphill battle the entire time to get the legitimacy for what he was doing, which is imaginable now. Since Kabbalah is so legitimate, so mainstream, but Scholem had to fight that battle in many ways at home. Luckily, he was a very capable scholar, and he was able to do it. Scholem brought with him an army of students. He attracted a great deal of students, folks like Moshe Yindel and Don, other folks who have gone on to become themselves leading scholars in the world of Kabbalah. His students were also perfectly willing to criticize him, and they did. They made careers criticizing him. Folks like Moshe Yindel really showed how important Scholem was, and also how incomplete Scholem was. And we have a whole new generation of scholars, Leaves and Zahi Weiss and all kinds of stuff. Bernie Burroughs is a huge group of scholars that blow my mind with every book that they write. And so the academic study of Kabbalah is landed. It is now totally legit if you want to study Kabbalah and think about it. You can take an academic level Kabbalah class and no one's going to bat an eye. Sure. Part of Jewish history. There is a relatively small group of religious scientists led by Rothschild, and he would eventually give rise to religious science as we know it, although Rothschild wasn't terribly influenced by, wasn't a huge Kabbalist, but certainly a lot of the Lurian themes of exile and redemption will play a part in the rise of Zionism. The most important, I think, Kabbalist to come really in the early to mid-20th century would be Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag, Baal HaSulam, the master of the ladder. And the Baal HaSulam would make Aliyah in Israel, and he would compose two incredibly influential works. The most important, I think, is his commentary on the Zohar, a text that he took, I think, 10 years to write, called Hasma, the Ladder. And this is a both introduction to the Zohar, but also a commentary on the Zohar. And he translated Zohar out of the crazy Aramaic that it's in into a very modern Hebrew to make it accessible to a whole generation of people who otherwise would not be able to read it in the original Aramaic. He published it in basically modern Hebrew, modern Rothschild Hebrew, and so it's much more accepted in modern Hebrew. So many people who read Zohar now in the Orthodox world, and also many people who study Isaac Luria are going to study many of his ideas in some level through the lens of Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag, who also developed his own sort of like interesting communist theory. There's in fact, I think, a kibbutz that's based on some of his ideals in northern Israel, Alps. So Yehuda Ashlag becomes very important. I think probably the most important character on this. Another character that I don't mention in this that I can't believe I left out, of course, was Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, blessed memory. Schneerson, of course, was the head of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, and what's important to know about him is that, well, he became one of the most important founders of the Kiruv movement, that is to say, the outreach movement among Orthodox Jews and Hasidic Jews. So if you've ever been to a Chabad house, that's because Rebbe sent someone to make one, basically, at least most of them. And Menachem Schneerson founded this enormous Kiruv network of the Chabad movement. He was just a hugely important figure in the history of 20th century Judaism. It's really hard to downplay all the really important things that he did. But one of the things that's worth mentioning here that's important, that will be important going into 21st century Judaism, is that when he died in the 90s, it was already believed in his lifetime that he was the Messiah, and then when he died, people really began to believe he was the Messiah. And so there is a movement in the Chabad world. It's not a super big movement. I don't think it's as big as it was in the late 90s. It seems to be mostly localized to Brooklyn and Israel, especially in Kfar Chabad, where they believe he's the Messiah. Also, I have a mock. So I have, so anyways, the Menachem Schneerson was believed to be the Messiah, and I studied briefly at a Chabad yeshiva, and I definitely met people who believed that he was not only not dead, but that he had been taken into heaven somehow bodily, and that he was going to return really soon, and that it really his return would be heralded by Jews adopting more Torah, and that he was kind of occluded, and his occultation would come in, and the Rebbe would reappear as the King Messiah. Of course, you can still go to Crown Heights, you can still go to Brooklyn, and you can still see crowns, images of the Rebbe's flag, which has it's yellow with a crown that says Mashiach on the Messiah. So there's this huge Messianic movement, which again could be a whole class unto itself, inside of the Chabad movement, where they do believe that their late leader is the Messiah. This is causing some serious problems in the Chabad movement because it is such a movement-based outreach. Although in my experience and what I've been told by folks who have grown up in the movement, is that largely the kind of people that the Messianist stuff appeals to are typically people like Baal Shuvas who convert back to Orthodox Judaism, and younger people. That most of the more established Chabad world doesn't really get down with this Messiah stuff. Although I think they do still control 7, which is the main synagogue in the Chabad world there. So the Chabad has this Messianic thing, which is super weird and interesting. For the folks who are in Michigan who are hanging out with me in this class, you probably have never heard about this or heard about it only briefly because the Shem Tov family, which is the larger Chabad family here in Michigan, is a very old Chabad family. They were sent here as emissaries by the Rebbe way back in the 70s or 80s, something like that. But they were the leading force in many ways of the anti-Messianist. They really thought the Messianist was dangerous. And the Shem Tov family, which is very powerful here, at least in Michigan, has never been on the Messianic camp. And I don't think the Messianic camp has ever gotten a foothold in the Metro Detroit area when it comes to that stuff. That's different other places, but I don't think that the Messianic camp has ever gotten a foothold. But go to Brooklyn, go to 770, certainly has difference. All right, the last two things I guess I'll mention before we really wrap up is the rise of the neo-Hasidic movement. As folks know, the neo-Hasidic movement was pioneered by folks like Martin Buber, who came out of the Hasidic world and maintained, not the right word, sort of modernized and the Hasidic movement outside of the dynastic structure. And so many of the tales of the Hasidim and a lot of Hasidic spirituality became sort of exported out of the Hasidic world and then imported into the modern Orthodox world and the conservative world especially, and the Reconstructionist world most recently in the sort of the Chabad movement of the 1970s. This is a period of Karlbach and stuff like that for folks who grew up with Karlbach and so it's in that world that we have the rise of what is called the Neo-Hasidic movement. And this movement is proven to be extraordinarily popular in the Jewish world. And there are great luminaries in the Neo-Hasidic world, folks who recently passed away, like Rothschild and Art Green, who's one of Alana's teachers, actually, in Hebrew College. He's probably one of the premier Neo-Hasidic leader in the world right now. It's really funny at Forum that I got to have a few drinks together and talk about Kabbalah briefly. I feel like I'm really honored to be able to hang out with one of the Gowans of the Neo-Hasidic movement. And so I got to spend some time with Art Green when I was up in Boston with Alana. So the Neo-Hasidic movement alive and well, and I think it's popular as ever. It's actually growing in popularity. And with folks like George Weisenberg and other folks who are really channeling sort of Hasidic ideas into music, that stuff is going to prove to be continued popular. The last thing I'll mention, and this is the thing I imagine some folks already know, is of course mainstream pop culture Kabbalah. The Kabbalah Center led by Rabbi Berg, which has received a lot of criticism, but whatever, I think that it's a legit form of Kabbalah as much as anything else is, at least from an academic perspective. The Kabbalah Center is they have outfits all over the world. It's sort of a franchise kind of, and they teach a very specific kind of Kabbalah that is tailored toward celebrities, basically. Now there are non-celebrities that get into it. It's a form of sort of kind of new age meets traditional Kabbalah, but this is made famous by folks like Madonna and Britney Spears was into it for a while, which Britney Spears has a Hebrew tattoo on the back too. I don't know, whatever sense Kabbalistic tattoos make, but you go, Britney. I think she's from Mississippi, so I think we're home state people. So good, me and Britney go back. So people like Britney Spears and Madonna have also embraced Kabbalah in a pretty profound way. And apparently, I think even Madonna quit doing concerts on Friday night because of her commitment to certain kinds of Kabbalistic beliefs. Well, I think that the material goes from here, right? She's from Bay City. Madonna's from Bay City. So the material goes from here. So you have Rebbe Madonna, who has gone on to become influenced very heavily by Kabbalah at some level and spirituality, although I don't think she's ever converted to Judaism. And there are many other people who've been influenced by the Kabbalah Center. The Kabbalah Center is very polarizing. It's very controversial. They've gotten some trouble with money stuff, unsurprisingly. A religious organization getting involved with celebrities and getting in trouble for money stuff. Could you believe that? So the Kabbalah, in many ways, in the 1990s and 2000s, really pop culture with a lot of pop culture folks becoming really influenced by Kabbalistic ideas, but that either becoming very mainstream, right? Very mainstream. Books. Kabbalah Chai. It's gonna live. Kabbalah is gonna survive us all. It's back. The Kabbalah had gone through a couple thousand years, or 1,000 years now of turns and twists and messiahs and dead messiahs, apostate messiahs, a mountain of books and commentaries. It's really gone through, I think, almost every kind of travail that religion can go through, a philosophy can go through. No philosophy that I can think of has gone through this much. Platonism or communism or whatever. Kabbalah has gone through so much, and it's had to transform and adapt itself. And when I think about the Kabbalah, is that I'm very happy and very glad to be alive now, because we're now living in, at some level, the golden age of Kabbalistic literature. More Kabbalistic literature is available to me than anyone else in history when it comes to accessible information. More Kabbalistic education is available. A class like this is a completely secular academic class on Kabbalah. Also, you can go to dozens of teachers of Kabbalah to become a Kabbalist. And Kabbalah is accessible to people who were never accessible before. Women, LGBTQ folks, it's accessible in a way that it never was before. And so I say that Kabbalah lives, and Kabbalah will live, because we are living in an age where the Kabbalah has finally been able to, at some level, withhold its secrets. You have to work hard to become a Kabbalist. You need to learn Hebrew, learn Aramaic, you have to move to Israel, move to Brooklyn. You have to do a lot of heavy lifting if you really want to get into Kabbalah. But you can. It's there. So much of it's on the internet. Right? So much of it, you can be an interlibrary alone. You can go buy books right there on Amazon and learn secrets of the Kabbalah that would have been utterly inaccessible to 99% of the Jewish population. Most of history. And there they are, immediately available. Even English translations, things like the Zohar, like the Pritzker edition of the Zohar, massive 12-volume Pritzker edition. There was no standard English, and now for the first time in history, we have access to all 12 volumes of the Zohar, and new things are coming out every day. So we're living in a golden age. Study of Kabbalah, and we're living in a golden age for those who want to be Kabbalists. And I have to say that I'm really happy, and I feel really blessed, and I feel really grateful that all of you have decided to come along with me on this 14-week journey through the history of Kabbalah, because I feel very lucky that I have the privilege and the honor to be able to learn about Kabbalah and share what little I know, and to know that there are people who are interested in learning about Kabbalah and learning what little I know. And so I just want to thank all of you who hung out with me over the course of the past 14 weeks to learn some Kabbalah together and to learn about Kabbalah and learn that this tradition is beautiful and strange and science fiction-y, just all over the place, weird and wonderful. And so I just want to express my deep gratitude for everyone who stayed for 14, whatever. I'm just really grateful and really blessed and feel really thankful for everyone who's had the time, who's taken the time to learn some Kabbalah with me and giving me the opportunity to learn more about Kabbalah in preparation of this class. So that said, thank you. It's really an honor and a privilege to be able to have this class. And I look forward to learning with all of you soon. Kabbalah or not. I'd love to do it so hard. This is like my secret desire to do is I do a big Zohar class. Both study Zohar and also study about Zohar. We have I imagine kind of a class that would be structured like a science class where you have a lecture in the lab. The lecture would be like this, and then we have a lab. The lab would be like studying the Zohar, studying it. So I imagine that's my dream gig. It's a lecture lab class. It would be Zohar lab. Which I had to say it's a little more exciting to me than working in a chemistry lab. So anyway, that's be up to the community. Up to y'all. But I guess again, I'll just end with saying thank you, and so I'm so happy that folks are coming along with me on this journey. And it doesn't end here. We'll definitely say that. Like I said, we're not ending with the end of Kabbalah. We're ending with ...
I'm beginning control of the all the fucking rest of that. This makes me get crazy.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining me as I explore the garden of Kabbalah. Again, if you'd like to support my work, providing accessible, free, and scholarly content on topics of Kabbalah, alchemy, cult, magic, and philosophy, consider supporting my work on Patreon or perhaps with a one-time donation. You can find those links below. Until next time, I'm Dr. Justin Sledge, and thank you for watching Esoterica, where we explore the arcane in history, philosophy, and religion. I'm Dr. Justin Sledge, and welcome to Erica, where we explore arcane and religion. One of the most difficult aspects in starting to study Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah is it.
Tony's here. I told everybody you're one of the best comedy audiences in the world. How loud can this place get right now? Look, everybody, first time in Melbourne, Brian Redman. Hey, guys! Ooh-wee-wee. How exciting. Be back at the Great Comics Lounge, where I've been many a times. You wouldn't know by the pictures that they have all over the walls of people that have been here maybe once in their fucking lives. Yeah, I'm sure you guys come and see Seinfeld here all the fucking time, right? A bunch of bullshit. Come here once a year. We always have fun. How many of you have seen me do stand-up comedy in this venue before? All right, like 20 of you. Very good. Real good return audience. I get it. This hellhole. To be here. It's good to be on our Australian first ever Kill Tony Australian tour. We are the #1 live podcast in the world, and we appreciate you being here. We travel all the time. It never ends, really. It just goes on and on. We are going more places real soon. Like you wouldn't believe it, but I switched the wrong papers.
We're going to be in Washington, D.C.
There it is. Another sold-out show tomorrow night in Sydney. Then we go to D.C. November 7th and New York November 10th. Columbus, Ohio the 12th of December. Pittsburgh the 14th and Cleveland the 15th of December. Ticket to DeathSquad.tv, TonyHinchcliffe.com. You can just Google it, too.
Well, don't Google it. You might get those ticket scalpers. And yeah, don't go through that.
Don't do that. Ryan J. Ebelt made special Australian posters that we're going to be slinging and signing for you and taking pictures with you after the show if you're patient enough to wait around for it. There's also Kill Tony pins that glow in the dark and a couple Tony Hinchcliffe pins, optional facial hair with a Sharpie marker. I'll put it on. It's all available after the show. Blah, blah, blah. Fucking blah, blah, blibbity, blah. Right? You know all this. You listen to the show. How many of you are fans of Kill Tony? To be honest with you, normally I don't share a lot of inside information like this, but I had a thick beef penne pasta earlier, and it is not completely settled 100%. What I would give to have some amazing infinite CBD right now for this upset stomach, because I am suffering from both anxiety and depression right now in this very moment. I love working with Infinite CBD. They offer the cleanest, healthiest, and purest forms of CBD available. It's organically grown in Colorado. That's in the United States of America, the greatest country on the planet. It's pure CBD isolate, testing over 99% CBD. If you still haven't tried it, research has shown to help with a variety of different ailments, including anxiety, depression, insomnia, and much more.
This month, we're going to highlight the gummy bears. You know, they have CBD gummy bears. They got some new flavors of these gummies, too, and they're great for calming down when things get stressful or before bed. They help insomnia. They have flavors like sour grape, sour peach, sour watermelon, sour blue raspberry. It's no favorite apple.
Infi.com, and if you use promo code Tony 2015, you get 15% off. That's Infinite CBD. Get 15% off. You guys ready to start this show or what? We're live. Melbourne. Let's fucking go. Believe it or not, as with all road shows, we're not going to have a guest tonight. However, we do have a band on this show. They've never been to Melbourne before, so this is very exciting for them. They always do different characters every episode of the show. We never know what they're going to be. They have a separate dressing room to get ready in here tonight, and sometimes it's the return of a famous character that they've done before. Like last night, they were the Outback nature people. The fucking
Steve Irwin.
the animal, Australian animal people, whatever the fuck you guys call those.
Stingray guy.
Yeah, exactly. Your old emperor or whatever the fuck he was here. Anyway, so let's see what they are together. Give them a big Melbourne welcome. It's their first time performing in this. The best damn band of the land, the Kill Tony Band, Jeremiah Watkins and Joel Jimenez. Here we go. Oh! Whoa! Here they are. We know these guys. Now, I do believe these guys are all white trash. Am I correct?
What's up, y'all? We've been hanging out in Frankston lately. What's up?
Hey, look at that. Absolutely. There you go. Stealing my references. Very good. Right from the get. That's a smooth move.
How's it feel, Tony?
I see what you did there. Wait, what does that mean?
Oh, so nothing?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because that wouldn't make any sense at all. So, remind me of your name there, Captain.
Yeah, what's up? My name's Gunther. How the hell y'all doing, Melvin?
Gunther.
Dave Gunther.
Okay, Dave Gunther. Very good. And clearly back here we have a Mexican boy with an Australian haircut for some reason.
I didn't even know that's where I was, man. I just get on the plane, man. My name's Travis Plow.
Travis Platt?
Plow!
Travis Plow. Very fucking good. All right, well, welcome, white trash guys. You guys are Americans. How'd you get here?
Oh, man, we swam, man.
Wow. Heck yeah, this one still has a wet back. He did swim, you could tell. You could tell he did. Absolutely. I'm excited you guys made it here for your first time in Australia. So we have the band, we have Brian's soundboard, which brings me to this, the good old Melbourne Cup, everyone. Here we are. A bunch of people signed up before the show. I think you guys know how it works. I pull a name out of the bucket, we get to meet them all together. Sometimes it's somebody's first time trying stand-up comedy. Sometimes they're a local comedy hero trying to make a big break on the #1 live podcast in the world. I call your name, you get sick. That means wrap it up then, or else you're gonna bring out the angry fucking shit. The angry motherfucking, what is it? Heel Street Bear. Who gives a fuck? Sure.
Some gay street.
There it is. Oh, it's a kangaroo. That's right. It's a very exhausted kangaroo. You guys ready to start this show or what? Stairways right here during the middle. Very easy. I guess you could also sort of come up this way if you try. Don't really go up that way. If you go that way, try to make it to the middle. Just weasel your way in. Maybe this nice guy, maybe this Australian Justin Bieber will push his seat in a little bit so you guys can get in here. Maybe not, obviously. What an asshole. Incredible. Not surprised. You guys ready to start this thing or what? Come on, Melvin. I think you can do a little bit better than that. You guys ready to go? Jesus. Together for your first comedian. One-word name. His name is Raul. Raul is starting the show. Here we go. Dynamite here. Oh, that's not Raul at all. It was a little decoy. What's going on here, Raul? Is he coming? Come on, buddy. Come on, pal. Raul. TNT. He's dynamite. Fuck yeah, Raul. Here he is. One more time for Raul, everybody.
Okay. Just in case you're wondering, the answer is no. My carpet does not match my drapes. I've been single now for about 4 years since my divorce. You cannot believe how many women brag about being squirters. Really? Have you ever seen a hippo taking a shit? If you haven't, their little tail wags in front of their asshole and shit flies everywhere. Now you move that little tail to the front, and she's a fucking squirter. Especially if it was like fucking Aphrodite. Hey, white people. If that's racist or not, we don't have any black people around here. Our government's killed them all. I had a girl one time squirt accidentally in my mouth. In my mind, said, don't be a dickhead about it. You know, it's probably an accident. I'm going to be nice. But my body reacted like this. That's it.
Wow. Fuck yeah, Raul. You fucking did it. Came out and executed. I just stand-up comedy at its finest. But the things, you're going to have your face on one of these walls any day now here at the console. If anything, we've learned anything. Heck, look at you, you fucking Bond villain. What?